Welcome back. Happy Monday. If you are listening to us on any other day than Monday, suck my dick. I'm not going to play with y'all.
Wow.
I'm really not going to play with y'all. Y'all keep being disrespectful.
Do you see your brother?
We work very hard to get this podcast out on Mondays. We drop on Mondays. So when y'all tell me, I love listening to y'all on Thursdays, hold my dick. Because that's
the name of the studios, right?
That is the name of our studio. Shout out to our landlords. Shout out to our landlords, Kev and Dev. That's I never put together, but Kev and Dev. Shout out to our new landlords. We are at the HMD Studios in Brooklyn, New York. So if y'all have a I don't want y'all niggas here. Never mind, because then we have to wait like we just did, and that is ghetto.
All right.
Okay. No one's ever gonna hear that episode. Woo! Whatever those guys just recorded, no one's ever.
Mouse, be nice.
God
Jesus
damn.
Christ.
I usually am, but that really bothered me.
I wasn't even talking about that. I'm talking about this drink. God
damn.
Anyway. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Guys Next Door podcast. If you are listening to us on Apple, what is going on? Is that door closed? And wow, niggas are loud.
They are loud.
Yes, but back to you guys. If you guys are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating, a nice comment, but also a 5-star rating. Why? Because we are children and we are in need of validation. We need your validation. So we would like 5 stars. Just like everybody else would like 5 stars. Your Uber driver.
It's true.
Lyft driver.
Yeah.
Uber Eats deliverer.
You gotta give him 5 stars.
DoorDasher.
Yeah. Do they spit in meals anymore?
I hope not. I hope fucking not. Hope not. But yes, make sure 5 stars. Also, make sure you guys are following us on all social media platforms. That is Guys Next Door Pod. If you want to keep the conversation going, make sure you use the hashtag Guys Next Door on Twitter. I'm forgetting something, but what is it?
Oh, you forgetting about the Hakeems. You're forgetting about the Kimmy Giblets.
Hakeem Campbell's and Kimmy Giblets. I'm talking to you. The people that make sure you're on time.
Always on time.
Jason Pitts.
But never have no snaps on the Petro. Okay? We're talking about you. Yeah. So what you could do to fix that and stop being a cheap bastard, you go to patreon.com/GuysNextDoorPod. Add some snaps to the Petro today. Pick up your keys and become a Patreon member today. YouTube, Guys Next Door Podcast. It looks good. Why? Because we are at HMD Studios. Therefore, if anything is late, if anything ain't right, don't hit us up. Hit up Kev. Kev is in charge of that. Hit up Big Kev. If anything off, Big Kev. Christ. I told y'all it's easy to spot him. He got drummer shoulders.
The
you ever see a nigga with drummer shoulders? Like,
drum line.
Yeah.
He like this.
And last but not least, if you have a question, if you have any listener letters you want read on air,
be nice.
Make sure you send it to guysnextdoor123@gmail.com.
Be nice.
Now,
be nice.
I am being. Why I'm being nice?
Because I know your ways.
We know the way. We know the way he usually used to do it,
but I know he changed his way. That's why I just wanted to.
Come on, give him space. Give him his
opportunity.
Space.
Ready? Go.
If you want growth, you have to, 1, set the atmosphere for growth.
Go ahead.
2, you have to move out the way.
True indeed.
Absolutely. We now have clouds on the ceiling, so I'm different.
Space.
So let me show you. If you are writing to us, about your funky ass relationship that you already knew was trash, and all we're gonna do is confirm that it's trash, it's very easy. You put your own fake name in the subject line, or Ron Burgundy style, we're gonna read. Shay is going to read what's in front of her.
Absolutely.
We're not going to waste our time trying to come up with fake names for your funky ass, stupid ass relationship questions. We ain't going to do that.
No.
Say your fake name or we're reading what's there. Okay? If it is a question about your funky ass relationship, make sure you send a picture of you and your suitor or however y'all got it. Because it's very important. Because I never want to give advice to a person without a side tooth. The same advice I would give to a person that cares about
It's growth. Right?
I'll give you the growth on that because you've gone so far left. You
also don't want to give ugly people, good-looking people advice. If I see the picture of you and I'm like, listen, you kind of need to stop and just deal with whatever you're dealing with.
Comparison.
But if you look good, I'm going to be like, hey, you don't need to deal with this. There's some people that end up in situations that you are not facially equipped to get out of.
Gotta know your league.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta know your league.
Wow. That's a whole nother episode.
We'll talk about that another time. But in today's episode, very, 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 very important person came next door today.
Our big brother right here.
Our big brother. Look. Oh, he don't like that. He don't like that. He don't like that. We are joined by none other, the legendary Miami's own.
Yeah.
Which is located in Florida.
Oh, wow.
We have from the Reed, Kid Fury. Clap it up for Kid Fury. Yeah. Everybody clap. You're not okay. Don't get cute.
How old are you niggas? Because
we are literally all the same age, and that age is younger than yours. By 2 years, but still younger.
I mean,
I still pass for a solid 17. So not everyone can say that.
That's true. That's true.
That's a fact.
Black don't crack.
Good black does not crack. Well,
good black doesn't crack.
Good black, because they are some.
We ain't gonna talk about.
There's not bad blacks cracking.
Those are people.
They're not my people. Nah, they cracking.
Wow.
Because that's bad black.
Wow. Is there a bad? We're not even gonna get into that.
Is.
We're not gonna get into that.
I'll tell you some bad.
I'll tell you some bad blacks.
We ain't gonna. Not now. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Just
Another 2 shots.
Just let's say a name.
Wendy Williams.
Just let's go around
bad
the room.
black.
Say a bad black name.
Wendy Williams, bad black.
Wow.
Bad black.
Wow.
Bad black. Bad black.
I mean,
Big brother.
Stacy Dash.
Oh, that's a good bad black.
That's a good bad black.
yeah, that's a true bad. That's a true bad black.
Terry Crews.
I'll give you bad black.
No, that was Ryan.
No. That's for my brother.
No, because we're not helping him this time. No,
he's on Broadway. He got a chick.
Say the bad black.
Let me see. You
gotta own this.
A bad black.
I mean, mouse
a
better have
bad black.
I know you got a bad black.
Oh,
bad black.
Very bad one.
Yeah, the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. That's a bad black.
That's black.
That's a bad black.
That's a bad black. What you got, man?
He didn't do any. The thing about Forrest Whitaker,
He didn't do nothing
is
wrong.
To my knowledge,
He didn't do nothing wrong.
man.
He's a good
So
guy.
I don't know how to go.
He's a great man.
But the back of his neck is the bad black.
is.
You was about to hit the back, yo, bro.
I just the back
All
of
right,
that neck.
for me,
Oh my god. I
was
hate
gonna
the
say,
mischievous
I was gonna
laugh.
say Ebro, but he only half, so that don't count.
Okay.
I was gonna say Flex, but he sat on the surgery table, so he might have got the bad black sucked out of him.
Oh my god.
Um,
Do you see what this is our life?
I'm trying to think.
Every day.
We lose fans and have to get them back every Monday. We try. We try.
Every Monday.
Who's a bad black, bro?
I'm trying to think.
I gave you 2.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You took some.
You need another one? I might have one in my bag.
I mean, Bill Cosby. That's easy. Cuba Gooding Jr.
No.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding
no.
Cuba.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is not a.
Don't do that to Cuba.
Fuck radio.
What?
Fuck radio.
What did Cuba ever do to you?
You remember when I seen him at? All right, I'm gonna tell you what Cuba did.
All right, is this story?
No.
Time? No. Is this about to be a story
There
time?
is something that is it personal?
Yes,
Okay, then.
but he also is a shit. Listen.
Okay,
so,
hold on.
Anybody
Set it up. It's
anyone
story time.
that gets in front of a camera and says somebody sucks that baby's dick.
That's
not a good
my
person.
man.
Yo.
not a good person.
But in context, he was talking about a little person
Hold on, yo.
in the club.
I don't care. You know,
haven't seen that
words
video?
out of your mouth.
What?
That was
You haven't seen that video?
You never saw
Never
that
seen
video?
the video? Yo.
So there's a video.
EA, cut
Roll
to the
the
video.
Roll that footage.
So he's in a club. And I think there was a I don't know the pronunciation of it.
a little person.
Little person was in
but
the club.
It was Tyrion from
Peter
from Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
I mean
Peter Dinklage. Exactly.
How do you
Game
know
of
his
Thrones.
name?
Because I watch TV.
Game of
bitch.
Thrones.
What are you like?
I'm so surprised when people know people's name. I be calling people to name that.
One of the most successful television show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let him go.
they're all in the club. It's maybe after TCAs.
Was that the same party he had the KFC on his head? The bucket on his
Same
head?
exact
Same
party,
right? Yeah.
Same exact party. My man gets on the DJ mic. The DJ is playing whatever. He sees
LMAO.
Peter in his section. He says, "Hey, stop the music! Somebody suck that baby's dick!"
That's not a good person, bro.
It's a great
my
person.
point is
that is a great man.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yo,
So
that's not bad black. He's talking about white person. It's not bad black.
He's bad black. I'm gonna tell you why he's bad black.
That's a great man.
So we're at Lore, right? We're at Lore. Me and my baby mother at Lore after like my first day at TRL.
This is personal.
yeah, I'm
It's
about to say.
personal.
Ooh.
So we're there, and we ordered like the chicken pops or whatever them shits was. Shits was
The
ass.
satay. Yeah.
Whatever they were.
Okay.
Them shits were ass.
Did
and
you
I'm
say
like,
TRL?
yeah,
He was a writer. He was a writer on TRL.
Oh, I forgot
new
that
one.
happened.
The reboot. Yeah, the reboot.
I was say it was a time machine in this
I
show?
forgot that happened. It's crazy.
Carson was there.
And we wish it was DC and them.
DC.
And shout out to DC and them.
Wow.
But so we're there, and whatever the order got wrong. So I went up to I left our seat, and after a certain time, the waitress said, you gotta go to the bar. So I'm at the bar, and like I could see somebody like you not making no space, bro. You at the bar. So I just like, you know what I mean? Like nothing crazy, just like.
So you started with Cuba.
Sparked it.
All right, you gonna let me finish or what? You wasn't there.
Sparked it.
You wanted him to go radio on you.
All right.
So I just was like this. So I like just a little bit, like just make some room with my
So
elbow.
you physically attacked Cuba Gooding Jr.
You see that, right? You see where it went.
Narrative that we are going with.
I did. I definitely seen that. Yeah.
We're gonna be
So when there's still a lot going on in this episode already. So when I make the little space,
make space.
that's all I did.
That's what he called it.
Our
That's what he
job
called it
as
now.
black men is to make space for one another.
Wow.
So I made space,
That's a stretch.
and then he was like, "Watch where the fuck you going."
Well,
I mean,
And so in my
I haven't heard him do anything
In my
wrong
mind,
yet.
I turned around and was like,
Ignorance.
Nah. I was gonna meet ignorance with ignorance.
What you saw was Cuba.
I seen it was Cuba,
ignorance.
and then
Just
I was like, "Suck my dick, radio," like that. Like
You said that?
OD, and like the lady at the bar was like, and he just looked and he was like, "What?" I said it again. I'm like, "Suck my dick, radio," and I walk off. So I don't know who at the bar must have whatever. So he sends drink over to the table. So my baby mother is like, "Who sent these drinks?" So I look over. He's like, so I'm like,
With the radio face.
gotta love
so
it.
I'm like,
Come on, what?
So I'm like, we don't even drink.
So
It's been
my
more
whole
ever since.
So my story behind this is you were actually the bad black.
Absolutely. Mouse
In this story,
Wow.
you are not the good one.
Have we just got down to the nitty gritty?
I'm the bad black.
So wait, is
Mouse
this whole thing
Jones
about
the
you
bad
being
black?
the bad black?
journeying for the part where he did something
wrong.
wrong to you.
Why he had to talk to me like
All you had to do is say,
First
"Excuse
of
me."
all, you said that you met ignorance with ignorance.
No,
I
I
would
was about
challenge
to meet
that to
ignorance.
say that he met ignorance with ignorance by meeting your fucking elbow, okay,
that elbow never hurt
with a
nobody.
statement. No.
Yes, it has.
Tell the
I
old
watch
niggas in the
UFC.
NBA. Tell the
watch
old
UFC.
niggas. I'm about to
His
say.
elbows hurt. UFC elbow hurt. You're right. But I just was like this.
So you mushed
I didn't mush him.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
An American
elbow.
hero.
Elbow
What?
mush.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is an American hero.
You ain't never seen Jerry Maguire?
Show me the money.
All right,
Come
bro.
on, son.
All right, bro.
Come on,
So
son.
you forcefully attacked, show me the money in
Terrible.
public, and then you twice told him to perform fellatio on you,
Two tops.
twice in public,
Yeah.
and then he
Loudly.
gifted you alcohol,
I don't
and
drink.
you screamed at him again. What has he done to you?
Hey, Fury, I didn't think of it in those terms, but you're absolutely right.
Fury, whatever's in your cup, please put it down.
No, I refuse. And I think that, I actually think that Cuba Gooding Jr. might be a terrible person. I feel like he's on trial right now for some
He
shit
is.
that he did to a
I
woman.
thought you were gonna bring that up. Then I'd be like, yeah, he's on
But
some
he didn't do
shit.
shit to you.
Yeah, true indeed.
Well, I would like to retract my statement and
Uh-huh.
stand next to the one that Kid Fury just said. Bad black.
Bad black is
But you just wasted our time then, because you
Yeah.
could have just said that.
could have just.
Well, we're just cutting out.
So that's your bad.
I didn't waste anybody's
So
time.
your bad black is Cuba Gooding Jr.
That's my bad black.
And I'm sure he would say his bad black is you.
Yeah, I would say.
Cool.
I
It's
would
nothing-
say
it's
the
nothing
same.
wrong
I
with
mean,
that.
it's fine. You know,
Nothing wrong with that.
it's perspective.
If he knew your name.
Wow. Gotta take another
He
sip
doesn't.
of
You know
this.
that he doesn't.
That might be the name of the episode.
You know
if
he
he knew
doesn't.
your name.
Well,
He
Kid
doesn't.
Fury.
Call it. You don't know my name.
Well, moving on from the bad black
Wow.
segment. Usually, they start to read with black excellence. But today we did bad blacks.
Yeah.
Moving on. Fury, you have come next door. We appreciate you.
Sure.
What the fuck is going on in the world of Kid Fury?
Constant angst, alcoholism.
Hey, you sure Kid Fury's your big brother? He might be really mine. Like I feel like this is there's like
we share it. We
There's
share
like
I'll
it.
accept
blood
that.
here. There's
I
blood
accept
here.
that.
Yeah.
You.
Oh, my days.
You started this.
Boy, I'll tell you something, boy. I'll tell you who's not loyal.
You could be my foster parent.
So he said you a rough 32, bro.
It's a rough 32. Remember we said that shit?
You told somebody he was a rough 30 on live TV.
Bro, we definitely did.
All right, bro. We're not doing this whole episode, bro. All right, bro.
Do you remember? Yo,
I remember that. Live TV, he told me he's a rough 30.
that was crazy.
Have you?
Well, it wasn't been 29. It might have been 29.
Remember?
We don't remember.
What's that nigga's name?
It doesn't matter.
Zach Fox. That's his name.
It don't matter.
Okay.
No, fuck that. I want everybody to go Google him right now.
No, he dead like he had a long couple years.
Like he's been through it all. Whatever it is, he's been through it. So
Zach
for
with a
this,
K or with an H?
I think an H. Is that H? Whatever it was.
I'll tell you, he said he was 28, and he did look like.
And we all were aghast.
He had some hard years.
He did have some hard years.
I'm sure he has white in his family.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
But he was like 26, 27. It was something when he was just
Bro,
rough.
he looked old enough to be
Fathers.
all of ours. Look, here you go. Watch now. All of a sudden, Kid
Under
Fury's
30?
nice.
Under 30.
Now all of a sudden, he finds the nice thing.
I'm using my spirit of discernment.
There we go.
You look younger than you.
Wow. Get the fuck! There's no possible way.
Shit.
Oh my God, I love it here.
It's an amazing
Yo, you
place.
came home at the right
It's an amazing
time.
place. I
I
love
look
it.
younger than both of you.
You know, I'm going to get a shape up because then when this shape up is shaped up,
And I don't have one.
Wow.
when this
Wow.
shape up is shaped up, I look back my age. Scruff adds a few years.
Okay. All right.
It does. That's true.
Very Jim Jones inspired right now.
Wow.
The fuck
Whoa.
to hell, Ryan.
Just saying.
That's what you can do. This is what we doing the whole day. Like this is what we do. Niggas turn on me.
Hey man, we here for you,
Well,
brother.
I mean,
Get the fuck off of me, Mac Wilds.
it's all good.
Fucking shoe program, niggas. Putting cases on all you bitches.
Fucking ass.
Fury, how did you make it through the pandemic? Well, or that very rough segment.
Well, I mostly made it through the Pantene Pro-V by minding my business, literally, figuratively, staying at home, raising my Yorkshire Terrier,
Hey.
and doing the podcast thing that I do. Yelling at niggas, lying to niggas.
Oh, okay.
Sounds about quarantine-ish.
Sounds about
It was very
quarantine.
very very quarantine.
And did you pick up any new hobbies in quarantine?
Yelling at niggas, lying to niggas.
Now I want to know what the lies were because you were at home, like you were somebody I believe.
Joking. I have not lied to a nigga
How many days?
in years, and so since
Dog ears.
high school, probably.
That's the last time you lied to a nigga was high school?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're lying to a nigga right now.
You lying to a nigga right now. He's lying to three niggas right
I'm
now.
such an honest person. I can't tell a lie. It's like Knives Out. You see Knives Out?
Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I'll vomit. I can't even
do it.
Can't even do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I physically get ill.
Yo,
But
he's sick. He is really sick. Yeah.
He's good at this.
I
It's almost
haven't
like he's been
doing
podcasting for a
anything.
long
I've
time.
just been impulse shopping via Jeff Bezos. I've been spending so much money on Amazon.
Hey, I'm
for
not gonna
things
lie to you. I
don't need.
definitely added to that nigga's podcast this entire quarantine.
Yeah, but you're
bro.
a father now, so
I have to. Do you understand how expensive
That's what
you
you're
know?
gonna- that's
you
what
know
you're
how
gonna
much
put it on?
diapers are.
Yeah, I would have a guess.
Yeah. You know how expensive
Double.
diapers are. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't make sense.
I stopped, but I stopped paying for
in
that.
case people don't know,
Start
that's
stealing.
the kid's couch over there.
I was about to.
Yeah, you start stealing those.
No. I
That's-
was
yeah, see, look,
2 seconds.
look.
But the
Them
thing
shits
is,
go right under they go right under the thing.
you got to understand. Christina. She's gotten me on this crazy health kick, right? So even the diapers have to be like holistically
You
made
can
and all
steal
that.
those.
Oh no!
Where
It's
was the era in Black Mom where they were all like holistic, vegan.
Yo, it's crazy.
All of my baby's diapers need to be made of wheat and corn,
Son.
and they will eat
Shit happened, like,
nothing
last
but
week.
Brussels sprouts. Can your baby get a Capri Sun? Can your baby
Thank
get a
you.
noun
Thank
later?
you.
Like
They go.
damn.
This is what I tell those mothers. I've been not a mother or just been a father since I'm
Yeah.
17.
Oh, that's it. That's. No, I know. Yeah, I understand.
But
sure,
what I told Chris, what I tell any new mother, new parents that's on that kick, I'm like, you'll see.
It switches.
Oh,
It reverses.
You will see, because there will come a time where you're like,
Fuck it.
Just eat that. Just eat whatever.
get away from me, and whatever is in that corner is yours.
You got adults, so it's a whole different thing.
We're not gonna keep calling my kids adults.
High school is.
But say your daughter's
Whoa,
legit.
we're taking shots now. Let's
Wow.
relax, okay?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
High school, you don't have to bring it up, all right?
Your kids take shots already?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe she's old enough.
Jesus
she's
Christ.
14. I don't know what she's doing.
She's
around
old enough
friends.
in the Bahamas. Yeah.
Listen, Bahamas. I seen what's that show called? Euphoria.
Euphoria is
Whatever. I
crazy.
don't know what's going on.
Your 4
That's what he
Yeah,
just said.
Euphoria
That
is
was-
crazy.
What's it called?
That's what he said.
Euphoria. Whatever it is, she's probably doing it, and I can't do nothing about it. If she got her nose pierced, she's talking about a tattoo. Yeah, I got a nose pierced for her birthday.
I mean, well, you're her dad. Like,
I mean,
what
look
is
at
she-
you.
We supposed to say no?
Right. I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, it's your world. Like, I can't. I'm just not gonna tell no, because there's so many other things I have to worry about.
True.
Yeah, those are the things
Like,
that. Absolutely.
worrying about you lying about something you don't have to lie about. Not gonna just, like my parents. I tell Mac all the time. Like, my parents look at me sideways because I tell them, like, yeah, my kids could curse. Just don't curse around me. But like,
Damn,
I'm not
I
gonna
agree.
waste my time
I still
telling them
agree.
not to curse. To be honest, there's a lot of reasons. One, a white man gave power to those words. No white, like what a white man says is not going to supersede what I say. So
True indeed.
if you want to curse, sure, just don't do it around me until you're 18. But sure, go ahead, curse. I be hearing them and I be loving it. Like, I love to hear the way my youngest, she know how to put that motherfucker together, boy.
I know that. That's my dog. That's my dog.
That's my dog.
That's my dog.
Boy, she know how to put that motherfucker together. I came in the room one day and she was like, motherfucking dumbass.
She is the gangster. Out of the two, she is the gangster out of the two.
See, I personally hope they get there one.
Whatever
Please,
they're
where are
on
you-
their way
But
to,
two-
I hope it fails.
Yeah.
I feel like I would love to curse with your children.
You would.
Yeah. You would.
But if they were my children, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said they can't curse around me
It
till
took,
18.
it took me a while
Yeah.
to even want to curse around my mom. Past 18.
I
Like,
still-
I didn't even,
I still-
I didn't want to do none of that. Like, I didn't want to curse at all. To this day, like, I feel like it happened recently where I was just like, fuck that.
I still won't.
Like, you ever curse around your mom and then look and see how she reacts?
Oh, 200%.
No,
Like,
to
shit.
this day I don't curse around my parents.
Hey, listen.
I
I cursed in
won't
front
do
of my mother. I think the first time I cursed in front of my mother was when one of my cousins passed away, and it was at the funeral, and I think I was crying and all of that. I just came home from shooting 90210. I'm sniffling. I'm trying to hold it together for the family, and I just said, "Fuck," and I stopped. Like, my tears ran up inside of my eyes, and I looked at her, and she was like, "It's all good, baby." And I was like, "Oh, it's lit. It's up from now on." And from then on, the door was open. It was a wrap.
No. I remember I was like 13 and was realized, like, okay, I can say nigga around my mom. Like, we can trade niggas back and forth.
Yeah.
But that's it. That it doesn't go anywhere.
My mom
past
cursed so much that it was just like, eventually she knew she was going to create a curse.
And
But the crazy thing is, I don't curse a lot. But I think that's why.
Nah, I've seen Ra, like,
that. Yeah, I only see him curse when he's like mad.
that's what I'm about to say. I see Ra curse. When Ra curses, you know it's like a real serious situation.
Some shit. Like, I don't, like, some people just curse in their normal day. Like,
That's me.
fuck shit. And I just don't have, I just don't,
I
I
wake
never
up
found
and
those
run through
words.
about 30 of them just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
yeah.
the day feel good. Shit, motherfucker, bitch, suck
Ass.
my dick. Stupid bitch, black motherfucker. Like, I get that out and I'm like,
You good.
I legit go through cursing phases. Like,
What?
like there's certain times in my life where I used a certain curse word more than others. Like, during my 90210 phase, I used the word cunt a lot.
I can understand
everybody
why.
a
You
cunt.
were around a lot of whites.
Yeah, lots of whites. That's also though one of my. I personally
Treasure.
truly
I
enjoy
love-
cunt.
Yeah, yes,
It's
yes.
such a great curse word, but it had two reasons why cunt is one of my favorite, if not my favorite curse words. One, great mouthfeel. It feels great to say.
It's like a good cognac.
Like cunt. It feels like
Cunt.
it just, there's something very satisfying about the way that it
Are we doing a
feels
curse
when you
taste?
say
Are we
it
doing a
to
curse
me.
curse
tasting right
tasting.
now?
But also, two, much more powerful than the first reason, it really offends white people.
I thought that was what you were going to
200%.
lead with. I found out that later in life and was like,
Like, they
cunt.
hate
Yeah, they hate it.
Do they hate cunt more than cracker?
Oh yeah,
They don't hate cracker.
They don't even.
They-
Cracker
I think
is
cracker
cool.
is like,
Cracker's like,
I think cracker is like, you know how like when you're too old for a whooping, but you like sell it to your parents, you're like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to get it. I think that is what.
I think that's what they tell us to, you know, like, and I'm not saying I've been in situations like this, but I have. And there's white people that slip up and say that nigger. And they be like, well, you can call me a cracker. I feel like that's the word to just,
Yeah, bro.
like, yo, you call it, I don't matter, but they never
They
say
don't
you
care
call me a
about
cunt.
that.
they don't care about cracker.
care
But
about
when you
cracker.
say
They'd
that
rather be-
cunt,
Oh,
They rather you call him a cracker than Karen.
they rather you call him a
200%.
cracker than neighbor.
Yeah.
But yeah, you call him that cunt, that slaps it. It slaps.
Kinds is like they will take you to court.
All right, bet. I got to put that in the, I got to put that in the
So
book.
much.
Because you know, like, as when you get frustrated as a black male, especially, or as a black person, you try to find that word that really triggers
Oh,
somebody,
yeah.
and you try to use words and they laugh like, how that doesn't. I found it.
Cunt is the
Cunt
one.
is the one.
They hate that shit
telling
so
you.
much. And like,
I knew cracker
funny
didn't
enough,
bother. I knew cracker didn't bother people when my dad would be on set. You know, my dad is like he's one of those old school black men who just
almost a hotep.
almost. I feel like that should be its own section.
There's
Almost.
hoteps, and then almost a hotep.
Yeah, that's my dad. So he's on set. I brought him on set. He's gonna cut my hair because, you know, the white people don't know how to cut nobody's hair.
That is a fact.
And my dad he's walking around the set. He's walking around in front of all of the Grips guys and all of the castmates on the phone, being a nigga, of course. On the phone talking to my uncle, just like, yeah. I'm doing this 90210 shit with Mac. Yeah. That's the show with all the crackers. Yeah. He's out here doing this damn show, you know, regular, whatever. And everybody walked around like my dad didn't say anything. Me,
didn't.
terrified, like I'm about to lose my job. People are like, "Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Hi, Tristan's dad."
Cracker, yeah, that's me.
Cracker, me right here.
But soon as you switch it up,
Want to take a picture?
yeah,
It's
get
crazy.
with it.
It's crazy.
we're supposed to do about it. The thing I love about cunt though is like, for decades and decades, cunt has, for like gay people, like specifically gay black and brown people, the word cunt has been a compliment. It's usually
Right.
used as something
Like
that,
real
like
cunty.
it's like when something is like very like feminine and like really like well put together, pretty, like whatever, like, you know, like you'd be like, oh, that's really cunt. Like it meant to be something good.
Yeah.
So just hearing or witnessing, usually Caucasian women, get just very uproarious and bent out of shape when it's like, we're actually saying something kind and
Yeah.
actually ain't nobody fucking talking to you in the first place, Alice. So if you sit your ass over there and mind your business. But
Jesus Christ.
I enjoy it.
Listen, Fury, I'm glad we got you here because, you know, we've been doing like this, not even like on purpose, like not even intentional. Like we've just been doing like a lot of self-exploration on this podcast, and within these conversations, we had a conversation last week about grief and like just dealing with it. Me and Ryan and cousin Juan, we had a conversation about everything, but just about like learn how to show up for yourself. You've always been someone who intrigues me in the way that you deal with fame. Like you like are the anti-embracer of fame. It's like you do this thing that everybody in the world would love to get credit for. And like instead of you taking the credit and saying, you know, even taking your flowers, you push it away. You're like, no thanks. Like even I was listening to the show
I don't
today.
even want to say he pushes them away. He just leaves them at the door.
He walks right by them. Literally, there's no meet and greet. He's like just walk right by
You know
them.
what's crazy? The way what you just said, it means so much to me because when I first met you the first time, y'all had a live show, and I didn't know shit about podcasting. That was like when we were still like probably pre-recording, probably didn't even release.
We didn't release
shit.
yet.
And you invited Mouse, who invited me. I wasn't invited, but it was cool. I came along.
Same.
He had a
Pulled
plus.
up. Just pulled up.
Yeah, it was you.
I think I hosted that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah, I
you
know
did.
what you're talking about.
So me just that's my first live show I've ever been to on any podcast, and seeing the way it was ran and the way you just, like you said, it was like, yes, I know y'all look at me as a celebrity, but fuck that shit.
You was like, I'm everybody's cousin.
I'm here. This is our show, and I'm gonna talk to y'all like how I want. It's not politically correct. And from that point on, I realized like when it comes to these shows and your own podcast, you got to make your own world. You got to make your own vision. You got to have your own.
Is that why you know? That makes sense now. Like why? Like being able to see, like being able to put pieces together is always dope for me, right? Like I've always wondered, like as Ryan became more comfortable being a podcaster, his demeanor changed in regards to that. Like when we first started, it was like I always talk about it. He left me and Mac hanging at fucking Roots Picnic. Like we opened, I think we opened, and then that other podcast went, then y'all went. Mm-hmm. Oh no, y'all didn't go.
Y'all
didn't go.
They said we not coming.
Y'all dubbed it.
That's why we got invited.
That's why we got invited.
Yes, we did.
We appreciate you for dubbing it.
We appreciate you.
Cheers.
Once again,
yes.
Lord's looking out. But
so y'all know the headline dropped out.
The headliner
dropped out, and they had the other people they picked up. They weren't the headline, but they went. They went there. They went the headline time. They wasn't, and they just put us up. But yes,
this happens.
It happened.
So the thing is, so like Ryan's demeanor back then was very much like, oh no, y'all don't know me. Like me and Mac are literally getting like, oh my god, and Ryan's like,
I treated it like how you treated it, like so.
And like his demeanor had just been very, I own this. So that's why I'm always interested about why you, or like what caused you to interact with it that way.
I don't care. Like
shit.
I don't. That's powerful.
Spirit animal.
That's really powerful though.
I don't care about that part of it. Like it's, first of all, I'm a dork, and I've spent most of my life being one, and I've fully embraced it, especially into my like adulthood and stuff like that. But I've never been the person who, for most of my life, was like celebrated, or I was just like class clown, like whatever. But for most of what I'm doing, like professionally, I do because I just genuinely appreciate humor and like the healing factor of the laugh, and just like the shit that is done for me, and I like don't need the extras.
Do you remember the first time laughter healed you?
Not specifically, but I just know that like for most of like through middle school, high school era for me, I spent a lot of time outside of school, just in my room with the door closed, watching Martin, watching the Parkers, watching like all of these mostly black sitcoms.
Yeah, man.
And that for me was very healing, and like the little nuances of what made Martin Lawrence funny to me, and like his like physical comedy and the way that he uses his body to like make jokes, and like Monique's facial expressions, and like Sanford and Son, Fred Sanford's like all of these little things, like never even really like sat back studying and taking notes, but I feel like that to me was really healing, and I think it was like, oh, this is what I want to do, not just because it's fun or it's funny, but because it makes me feel better. And so most of what I do feels more like an assignment than a privilege, or like or I don't care about like it's hard because I don't want people to think that I don't appreciate the like recognition or the appreciation, but I don't think I'm ever gonna get to a place where I'm just like, yeah, like
that's why I was like, I think it's not a you push it away. You give niggas the address to send the flowers. You just leave it at the door. I think
I'm not coming down to meet you.
It's like, all right, cool. Like I appreciate
but
it.
But the Uber driver is like, yeah, I must leave it at the door. And
like I'm not gonna
be away
post
from me.
them. Like I might pick the flowers up and take them inside and put them down or somewhere. I'm gonna put it on social media.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna be like, oh look,
people love flowers.
Yeah, like I don't. It's just like, thank you, I appreciate that. But again, I think a part of what is really dope about our show and like podcasting in general, if you make it this, is that there doesn't have to be like this wall between you and the person that's listening, where it's like, I am celebrity, don't you love me? And then they just and then they do that. Like I think the reason that people enjoy our show and probably your show and a lot of other people's favorites is because you listen to it and you feel like you're a part of a conversation, or you're listening to people that you either feel like, oh, like that's my cousin, or like this reminds me of my best friend, or something like that, rather than like I'm listening to X, Y, and Z celebrity, because I don't give a fuck about that.
I feel like definitely like with us, especially I just had this conversation literally 2 minutes ago talking to you, and you were like, the reason about this.
We got Bino French in here. Everybody clap it up.
I was talking to Bino.
To fair, you have to clap because we're in here, and like it's a thing. Like you gotta clap. There's healing power in the clap.
Wow. But I was talking to him. We were talking about like music and A&R and shit, and how I used to be A&R, and people can call me A&R now too, but I really don't care. And I was saying exact words was, yo, I fuck with my people and I fuck with what they do, but I really don't care about this shit. Like, I don't care about what you think about me, how you think my job is, how you think I did my job, because at the end of the day, that's not going to make me be a better person thinking about how you think about me.
Do you think that's a learned behavior? Is that it? In your,
like, is the not caring? Is that like a trauma response or?
I think there's a little bit of not like I grew up with my mom. Really not. She wasn't a hugger. She wasn't like a real like embracing love type shit. So I really wore that on my sleeve. Like, all right, you don't do it, so I don't have to do it in a way type shit. So that to me in general. But when it comes to work, I feel like I want my work to show its worth. And I don't want you to look at me just because I'm around celebrities and shit to be like, oh, you're cool because you're with. Like, nah, these are actually my friends. Their jobs are their jobs. So don't put me in that box because that's not who I want to be or where I want to be looked at. Like, that's just not it. So when he says that, I totally get it. And like I said, that first show, when I saw he could just be himself and not have to make him. I go to these other shows, which I don't like going to, but I go, and it's like you put on this whole big person that you're not.
Yeah.
And then I see you outside of it. It's like your friends ain't even like that. Like, it's like when somebody goes to college and they think they're going to meet nobody that they know. So they come there and they act like the big dude. Yeah, I got all these girls and I did this and that. And then your sophomore year, somebody from your school really come. And they're like, yo.
That's not you, fam.
Y'all thought we used to give him wedgies in the hallway every day. And he put this whole persona. It's just like that. It's like, I know you. And I know how you are, and I know who you are. So don't make it seem like you're somebody you're not. So when I seen him on stage, and people are like really about him, but it's because of him, that made me want to change the whole. When I first came to podcast, I had to look at y'all and like kind of base the way I talked off of how y'all did, bounce off ideas, and be kind of like in a hole, not a hole, but like in a little corner, just saying words when I can. Then I realized like that's not gonna make me want to do this.
Right.
Like, I can't change my way.
And it doesn't really give the fans anything.
But for me, it wasn't even about the fans. It was about y'all. Like, I did the podcast to be my niggas. Like, that was talk to y'all about some shit. So, I didn't care who listened at that time. Now, it's like, all right, fans are gaining and money comes into play. But at the time, it was like, yo, do my niggas approve? Like, do they think this shit is good? And once I realized, like, I didn't care about how I did it. It was the way I wanted to do it. And I was like, I bet. I see people like him and other people like, I see people like you and Mac, and y'all do y'all shit the way y'all want to do it. Y'all don't apologize for the way y'all act. Y'all don't want the credit where it's due or where it's not due. Right. You just here to do y'all job. So that's what I took from seeing him and seeing you and just being around niggas that's really true.
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, and you know, I don't want to make it weird, but that's a testament to the way I even, I never knew what a podcast was until I heard The Read. The Read is the very first podcast I ever heard. And I was like, what the fuck am I listening to? I'm like, I think you were talking, I'm not even gonna say what y'all was talking about, but it was just like, it was an early on episode. So y'all was wilding. And it was like, I'm like, what? Okay. But I'm here. And it was something I held like for like 2 weeks or something like I didn't listen to in private, but it was like, I don't want to share this with anybody because I feel like this is something that I'm learning, right? And it was like two people who live completely different lives than I live, two completely different experiences, but at the end of the day, they're black. And this was right at the time of my, not discovery, right? Because I knew I was black all the time, but when I really started standing up in my blackness, and I was like,
really heavy
and I'm like,
into your blackness.
Oh, so in my mind, I'm hearing them, and I'm like, not only they're unapologetically black, but they're also unapologetically gay. Okay, so that means I can be unapologetically me. And then that's when, you know, He-Man Woman Haters Club comes out. And then that's when I get close with Tax and OG Reg. Rest in peace.
But that's when
happy birthday, OG Reg. OG Reg's birthday just passed. Happy birthday, OG Reg.
That's when the blessings start coming. Like, I always say there's no such thing as a corny individual.
True.
No, hear me out. No, hear me out.
Okay.
Just because you like to do certain things that's you like, that doesn't make you corny. When you start doing shit that's not you,
That's when it's
when it's corny. Like if you like reading books and you're a nerd or whatever, that's not corny because you like doing it.
I would say though.
You see, but you gotta.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
There's so much peace and blessings in that sentiment, and I agree with you. However, I disagree that there is not a. There is. I would disagree that there is no such thing as a corny individual, and challenge that a corny individual is actually the opposite of that, and that a corny individual is someone who laments and things that they may not truly
care about.
For the intent of like validation or outward celebration.
Can I say corny is not putting always a negative term?
I'm about to say
I feel like corny is always just like negative.
To fix what you're about to say, well, not even to fix what you were trying to say. It's more like the niggas that are corny are niggas that are just trying too hard.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you're yourself, does that make you corny and you're not trying so hard?
No.
That's my whole point.
Oh, okay.
My whole point is if you're being yourself,
yeah.
you're not corny. The minute you change yourself to be somebody else, that's corny to me.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Fury, so understandably, you are the kind of one of the sparks for so many. Well, for us,
you're on that Rushmore for me.
Yeah, this podcast would not exist if it was not for.
That's a fact.
I'll be real. You're on that Rushmore because even at the time when the first show I went to, I didn't even see Mouse on stage like that. You know what I mean? And then to see him,
hold on, I'm about to say, listen, understand, Mouse Jones is a host always first and foremost, but him being on that stage for you guys, it felt like a homecoming at Mouse's school. Like Mouse felt like he had to do extra.
Yeah, he did.
No, he's right.
He did.
I
feel like that was
the first time I hosted for y'all.
That was a mark.
I was about to ask.
That was the first time I
you
hosted for y'all,
for us?
and it was like because remember before then I had hosted 2 or 3 of Friend Zones.
Okay.
And then literally I'm gonna tell you, and this. So Alex says to me, and she says, "Mouse, what are you doing this day?" And I'm like, I think I just have to record this new podcast I'm doing, and then that's it. And she was like,
that's how you said it.
Literally, because we weren't out yet, so I was just like, I'm recording this new podcast I'm doing, but that's it.
Shit.
And she was like, okay, because Fury and Crystal want you to host the read. It would have. I was like, that message I had to read it again. Yep. I was like, they know me. Yes, I would. I'm doing it.
When I tell you, Mouse was excited.
Yo,
when we got
forget that the whole car ride. We go over there. I remember we got Chinese food across the street.
Yeah,
he's like, yo, I'm gonna get the little rice because I gotta be ready. I'm like, but mind you, I'm like, yo, what? What do we even? I don't even know what we're going to. I was like, podcast, live show. What is this?
We're still explaining to Ryan because he had to understand what a podcast was. Yeah. So we're still explaining it. So now I'm like, a live one.
I was like, people go up and they show up, and then when I get there, and
so are people gonna be there? I'm like,
hundreds of women, and I'm just like,
I remember this event very clearly. I remember being pissed when I don't remember why. I just remember when I pulled up, I was livid. I don't remember what the fuck I was mad about.
I remember you were asking about someone on your rider that wasn't there, but it wasn't too big of something on your rider. But I knew something.
Probably alcohol.
Yeah. It was like, why is this not?
You like no Henny?
There's nothing on my rider besides Hennessy and maybe chips. So
there was chips and there was no liquor.
But that's what I'm saying. It was something minuscule for the rider to where I knew it was something before that happened. It was just like,
yeah, I was pissed.
And he was like on the other side of the backstage.
Oh no, I didn't see him until he got on stage.
The other side of backstage.
No, I remember I was sitting in the back, and there was like a little bar,
water stools right there,
and like y'all were more over like on the other side, and I was like intentionally not going over there because I was like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want nobody talking to me. Like I'm gonna go over everything I gotta say in this goddamn shit today, and then I'm taking my fucking black ass home. But then like when we pulled up, like, I think that thankfully I'm blessed with this ability to just like turn it on when I need to turn it on, thankfully. So when we got up there, it was great. And then I knew who y'all were. So when I saw, like, I knew you were hosting, and it's like I did know who y'all were.
You didn't know
like,
me. You might have known them. At that time, I wasn't even nobody to know, man.
I saw y'all in the front,
there we go.
And I was like, oh, okay, they came to the show. That's cool. I don't remember that this was the first thing that you did for us because I was very familiar with you hosting at the time, which is I think probably why. It's
and then I was supposed to do y'all show at the Apollo, but Trap Karaoke was the same day, and I just got on tour with them.
Right.
So yeah, and I literally was just hey, Jason, don't be mad, but it did take a little bit of thinking. It wasn't an easy. Hey, I'm doing trap karaoke. You got to do this. It was I mean, it was like, you niggas may have to be hostless, but like for one of these cities. I'm doing the Apollo.
To the earlier point, we started doing the podcast in like February 2013, I think, maybe March, and it was like. I just moved here. I have no money. And I was like, I need to just be doing something so I don't feel like discouraged. And Crystal was working a regular job. She was doing it with me as a favor. And so one of the things I say to people, because like now and for the past couple of years, podcasting has been so capitalized, especially 200%. Because of like corporate America and stuff is capitalized off of it so much. I feel like a lot of young, like newer podcasters feel a lot of pressure to meet a certain standard and within a certain time range, or else they get like discouraged and they don't want to do it no more. And it's like, to me, the thing that makes a great podcast is your individual experience, perspective, however niche it may be, specific it may be. I say shit on my podcast all of the time, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck if 2 people hear this tomorrow and know what I'm talking about. That's enough for me because I find satisfaction in the fact that like you knew what I was talking about. I don't know how many people listen to this podcast. I've never checked this. I haven't checked this number in a year. I don't know. Like,
so when you first started, you was checking numbers.
No, like we really weren't. Like, no, I never checked numbers, but like when we first started the podcast, it was still so like fresh, and like, you know, loudspeakers was still very new and things like that. So Chris, one of the founders of Loudspeakers, and Reggie, like they were very much like, here are the numbers. Like, so we were I think a lot more aware of what the show was doing in terms of performance because they kept us in the loop of that. But
I mean, and the ad dollars rolling and having like I was doing something right.
And that was the thing when we started it too. We never knew we could make money from it. It was just something to do, like,
to not feel like I was wasting.
I also think like it wasn't really, if they didn't give you the numbers, they really weren't at your fingertips as they are right now.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
For us, when we got on, I was like this because I knew where to go. I'm like,
and I used to tell him, I'd be like, "Yo, get out those numbers, bro."
I used to just look until it's got to a point where I used to listen to every episode until a point where I was just like, you know what? Cool, it's out on Monday. Let's go. You'll be asking me like, yo, what happened? I'm like, I don't even remember that.
And that's the thing, is like that shit just, it doesn't fucking serve you at all. Cause like if your podcast on average gets 300 listens and like don't fucking first of all, have you seen what 300 people in one place together looks like?
It looks like a movie.
It's insane.
It looks like a movie.
One, if you could put 300 people in a room, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
And 2, one of those weekly 300 people could be Puffy. Like 200%. You don't know who the fuck, like it could be anybody. So just like do what you want to do and do the best that you can to make sure that you're fucking enjoying it or whatever.
I think as long as you're not intentionally shortchanging your listeners, right? That's what I tell the podcast. It's just like, if you have 300 people every week, my nigga, you're doing something. Because it's what I've realized with podcasting, the space what I've made work is that if you're not a nobody, but if you're an up-and-coming person starting a podcast, when we started, when I started, I'm not talking about now, it's completely different now, but if you're an up-and-coming podcaster, that's all you're doing, and you found a way to entertain 150 people every week, shish, you can monetize that. You'll be fine.
Absolutely.
The problem is if you have 150 people this week, and the next week you have 70 people, and then the week after that you got 50 people, you're doing something wrong. Fix that.
It's got to revalue what you're doing.
But if you can keep those people, you're fine.
I think a lot of that goes for me, especially. At first, I think I was, even like when I said I was just doing it for us, in the back of my mind, it still counted like how many people listened. But then the more I did it, I started really doing it for me. Yeah. Instead of thinking about who is going to be out there listening to this.
But you could tell.
And once I did it for me, I'm like, I'm enjoying this way more. It's way more fun. I could really talk about myself and not have any like being apologetic about it. It's like, I'm not thinking about who's gonna go on Monday and listen to this because it doesn't matter to me. This is my therapy session with my niggas.
I mean, but you can tell, right? Like you can tell like when somebody actually catches that groove, when actually somebody's really getting comfortable in their space, right? Creating their own space because they are. I don't know what it is. Just the conversation, how they handle themselves. And again, you guys, unless you're looking at this on YouTube, we're just talking heads. Like, you just press play and you just hear a bunch of voices talking. But there's a difference between the people who are super comfortable in this and like love to do it just to pull up and get that moment to laugh, to have their therapy. Or,
that's the part I tell people. Like, if you're not really, and this, by no means do we mean for this to become like podcasting 101.
No, of course not.
But it's like, I started as a genuine fan of The Read. That was the only podcast I was listening to for 2 months. And it was like, I would listen to the weekly episode, and as soon as that was over, the rest of the week I'm listening to the old episode. I want to catch up. I want to hear everything. So I remember being so annoyed if anybody bothered me, if I had to take my headphones out and then I had to stop listening to The Read or the listener. Like, what the fuck do you want?
It's like, for this is not MSNBC. You know what I'm saying? Like, This isn't Good Morning America. You're just fucking having a podcast or just conversation. I mean, depending on however you format it, obviously.
Right, of course.
But you're just speaking. That's it. And the whole purpose of a huge part of the deciding factor of me calling Crystal to do with me was because I was like, the conversations that we have just personally are ridiculous and hilarious. And I feel like that people would enjoy it because I enjoy it. So we never even approach it on some like, we're gonna make a show that sounds like X, Y, and Z, and then here are the lights and here's the smoke or whatever. It was just like, no, like, we always laugh when we speak to each other. Maybe other people will laugh too.
That was gonna be my next question. Was there, like, before you guys' podcast started, was there anybody who you guys were listening to, or somebody that you would really draw, I guess, even slight inspiration from?
No. Like, not from podcasts.
2013, that shit was fresh.
I know.
Like, there's only white.
Fresh. It was like most of the podcasters honestly were white. The first group of like mostly black and brown podcasters that I had ever seen were at loudspeakers. It was Reggie's show, it was Combat Jack show. It was like Sneaker Pimps and some other people, like reality. It was literally like all of the shows that were on loudspeakers at the time were the only people I had ever seen. Fan Bros. They were the only ones I had ever seen that were non-white that had podcasts or whatever. So most of my experience was from like YouTube and that kind of those spaces and shit like that. But like at the time I was like, again, I ain't got shit else to do and you know, we crack each other up all of the fucking time, so maybe this would be funny to other people as well. But now it's like, you know, Doritos and Verizon own podcasting networks and there's just so much more pressure on it, on top of the fact that every fucking 3-year-old, your baby probably got a whole famous TikTok page at this point now because these fucking kids.
Listen.
No, Tristan's a big deal on Instagram and
yeah, she got followers.
She's a big deal.
She will never have a TikTok. No, I can't say that.
She probably has one. You probably have no idea. Tristan's book club is probably all over TikTok. It's probably doing numbers.
It's like any 12-year-old that can like keep up with an 8 count has 7,000 followers on average.
8 count is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
So it's real easy for you to feel like shit when you start a page for your podcast and it takes a while for it to, you know, crack 500.
We're at that. We're not at that now because we know what we did, but it's like, even just during the pandemic is when we hit like this wall, I would say creatively, because he was in Virginia.
Yeah,
I was in New York.
I don't want to say we hit a creative wall. It was more of
it was a physical wall there. We couldn't be next to each other.
Yeah,
and it was like, damn, all of our problems that we had could have been fixed if we were able to record together. But we
had great ideas.
We had great ideas. But you can't do them over Zoom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like even our YouTube going from like a video that would do like 8,000, 10,000 views. Now it's just us in these ugly ass boxes, and now it's getting 100 views, and we like, oh, should we keep doing this? Like, what are we doing?
I think maybe for what I tried to think of as the saving grace in a lot of that was that unless you're like a part of the 1%, everyone was dealing with that.
Right, true indeed.
Like literally kind of everybody, even the richest of the rich, the most successful, everybody kind of was on an even playing field for a lot of the pandemic because we were all dealing with the same sort of situation. We couldn't be in the same room. We couldn't do whatever. Everybody kind of had to be using the same devices and software and Zoom and whatever the fuck. So
And I feel like podcasts during pandemic weren't the greatest thing to do. Everybody's home listening to music or watching movies and stuff like that. I don't feel like listening to pod, which is normally a going to work thing or working overnight thing, which is the norm. We just didn't get any of that. And us being in different places really hurt us. So that's when we kind of reevaluated shit, and it got us back to thinking about what makes us happy. And that's the basis of why I do this podcast.
The brotherhood of it, to be honest. That shit saved
I'm about to say, low key,
Absolutely.
it was how we started was low key the same exact way you guys started. When I tell you,
it was your birthday party, bro. Me and you had the conversation that day, and I was like,
"Yo, that was when we had
the first conversation about it. We thought
about it before that because we would be at a bunch of parties or we'd be at little clubs, this, that, and the third, and whenever Mouse, it would be always me and Ryan. Whenever Mouse decided to pop up and it was all three of us, we would I swear to God, it was always like clockwork. We could be low key in the middle of Last Lap, having a conversation just between the three of us. I know, right?
Shout out to Biggies.
Right? Shout out to Biggies.
Don't know about that other
shout out to Biggies. We could legit have a conversation between the three of us, and there'd be a crowd that forms around us and wants to join in or start laughing.
That happened the last time I was at Last Lap a few weeks ago. That happened when Ryan was there.
Yeah, but we really looked at each other, and I remember I looked at you and I was like, "Yo, bro, we ever thought about doing a podcast?"
At my birthday, at Last
Lap. And I was like, it's not the fact that I'm not even thinking. I wasn't really thinking money, which I kind of was, but I was like,
why don't we try
every
this?
time we talk shit, people just listen. And at the time, like I said, I didn't listen to podcasts. I barely listen now. I just didn't think there was a podcast where there was 3 black males that were not scared to talk about their past, talk about their future, talk about real sexual encounters, real mental breakdowns.
All the shit we're unlearning, we have to unlearn.
All the shit that we really go through as black people and as black males, especially us, because I heard women talk about it on their platforms before that, but it was like for guys to be like, yo, I had sex with this girl, I lost my virginity this way, I did this. It was like unheard of in my mind to have that on a public
space. To hear
space.
guys say, I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
I should have did this better.
Absolutely. It was just unheard of to me. So for us to do it, which we would laugh, and of course we joke and we have fun, but to have real serious conversations amongst black men, in my mind I was like, if we can get this shit off, I don't care who likes this shit. Like, it's my mental. It's a time for me to speak on my
1,000%.
shit.
Yeah.
1,000%.
And that's the thing, like, you kind of have to overcome the idea of like who is listening to this or where is like another example of this for me to understand that this is successful, or where your whole shit could be like, all I do is talk about how much I love cereal or oatmeal or whatever, and you'll be surprised sometimes.
Yo, like, you get a whole
responses you get. You have to just talk about whatever the fuck you want to and just let the chips fall where they may.
It's funny you said that. So, as somebody, I've always listened, right? But I did realize that there came a point probably about like 2.5, 3 years ago where you became comfortable talking about yourself, like in an introverted way, like in an introspective way, right? Like you always talked about, you know, if you were sick or if you were annoyed, if you didn't like something, but you know, there was a point where I checked on you, like, just, bro, you good? And like you talked about depression and, you know, the feelings of not wanting to be here anymore, like fighting through that. When your podcast is this light of joy for everyone else, you decided to, you know, lean the light in. What was that? What was the reason for that?
Well, because
I love to see you smile about it. Like, see you smile and talk about
like,
it.
I feel again like my assignment or my responsibility is joy. It's comedy. And so in moments where I started to feel less capable of providing that, I started to feel like it was only fair for me to talk about why. Because it's hard when I'm like really in depressed mode or like anxiety mode, especially because you can't always tell when it's going to come along or what's going to trigger it. I felt like, you know what, I'm not going to just come on here and like stumble through this shit and then just suck. Like, it's probably better for me to say, hey, this is something I deal with. So, you know where I'm at with things. And again, the whole like nucleus of this thing is humanity and being a regular ass fucking person. I'm not trying to be, Wendy Williams or Joe Rogan or any of these other and like more power to them. Exactly. I don't care whatever it is that works for you, but
gotta be
I'm just a regular person. So to me, it was just kind of like, especially when I first really started diving into it, it was like, this shit is killing me. It's way, 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 way too central in my life and like every day going on for me to act like it's not there. But then again, a big part of it is like, I'm supposed to be making people laugh. If that's harder for me, I'm gonna talk about why. And nobody really can I haven't had an experience yet, thank God, that anybody has made like my path more difficult for me than I can.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if I'm already literally dealing with and experiencing the difficulty of like being like going toe to toe with your inner saboteur, beating yourself up, being depressed, being anxious, what the fuck are you going to say about it that's gonna make it worse? You know what I'm saying? Like, or hurt, you know what I mean? Like, I'm already beating my own ass. I'm already killing myself. What are you gonna be like? Oh, you're depressed. Like, what?
Is there a level of trust you had to have in the audience to be able to discuss that as well?
No, not really. I think it was just like trust. I think that I had to have in myself.
I'm about to say, because again, it's a podcast, right? We're not right in front of an audience all the time unless it's live. Do you think
have a nice little audience today?
Yeah, shout out to the audience. Clap it up for the audience.
Clap it up for the audience. We see how we love y'all. Appreciate
you. Do you think it's more that you had to have trust in Crystal? Just to be able to kind of get into that conversation.
Yeah, I think that was far more important than like the opinion of any one listener that I'm not familiar with.
Gotcha.
But I think I was a lot less concerned with that, and we're real friends. We're not just co-hosts. So like we speak and have spoken about a lot of that way before I was talking about it on the podcast as well. So it was just kind of like, now we're at a point where I'm speaking about this with everyone.
It was just like when you was ready to do it.
Yeah,
y'all already had that comment. It's like with us.
It's a lot of shit on here.
Yeah, like, do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like with me personally, it was like, I feel like I carry like so much baggage off this podcast because I feel like I always take it like I'm the person precisely. I'm the person who has to get to where I had to put a lot of chips on my shoulder, but I don't think I ever took. To this day, I don't think I've ever taken a moment to like take them off until, well, whatever. Y'all, I'm about to fuck the continuity up. Y'all be fine. So when we did the Breakfast Club, me and Nyla Simone for the What podcast, that's when I felt like I could finally take the chips off, because from the moment I came in the industry in 2014 to now, I finally did everything I wanted to do on that initial bucket list. And everything leading up to that was everybody saying, "Oh, you can't do that. You're not gonna be able to do that. You came from the hood and you didn't go to school and you're not a part of a fraternity. You don't shake your shoulders except like none of that shit. Like, the shimmy warriors. Like, they're very. They don't like to let us in. We were talking about it the other day on the podcast. The academia versus the hood niggas. They like to keep us out, and so it was like, especially somebody like me who. Okay, if I see what's wrong, I'm gonna call it out.
No. You're abrasive. That's the problem.
They can suck my dick. They was wrong. That's it. Either way, because whoever I'm standing up for, I know that.
I'm sorry, Cuba Gooding. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry again.
The point of the matter was when we came to this podcast, I had a lot of that, and I've always been, whether it was on He-Man Woman Haters Club, any other podcast I did, any show I did for BT, any show I did for anywhere else, I still was very much Mouse Jones. You can't see what's behind there. Mm-hmm. This podcast, talking to these niggas every day, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, being black and especially being aware of your blackness, there isn't an era that we have or that we've been trained for that is of removing chips from your shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
We kind of just carry the chip and find like the best way to adjust with chips on our shoulder.
And that's what I feel like I've been doing.
That like knowledge and like sort of adjustment onto our kids and grandkids so that they can do the same. I think we're just now getting into a generation of black people that are trying to figure out how to do that.
And that's what I'm about to say. Even when we talk about like something as minute as me letting my kids curse, that's something I'm acting. Listen, y'all gonna be two little black girls that's about to grow up to two black women, and I'd be damned if y'all start out listening to what some old white man said is a curse. Nah, y'all do what y'all want. Y'all figure that out. But when it came to these two guys right here, I give them so much credit because I was able to be around niggas I laugh and joke with all the time, but in a non-verbal way, they said, "Mouse, it's okay," and I think they could feel it. In certain instances, we would be having these discussions, and I'm like, my guard is up. And I'm playing a mic. And, it's like, all right, get off me. All right, Ryan, how do you feel? Mac, how do you feel? And they would always find a way.
No. You ain't running from this.
And so when it was this one specific episode where we were talking about raising kids and, who wants to raise kids and how you want to do it. And it brought up something I never spoke about, which is my failed marriage. Right? And I was like, I don't like to talk about that because it's like, that's a very real thing I failed at. Like, that's in my face every time I see my kids not living with me, every time I see their mother say, hey, you coming to get them? Okay. You know what I mean? And something like I've never given anybody an opportunity to use against me. So I remember in that episode, we're talking, and I'm like, what the fuck is Mac doing over there?
Your head.
And I was just like, Mac, should I say it? Like, because you put me in a position where I have to like now kind of speak about this thing. And it was like, once I said it, it was like.
You needed to talk. It felt like, to me, when certain things on this podcast that you said, that including some other shit, I can see there's like that weight on your shoulder that you couldn't get off. And I can also see like maybe in your past, not even relationships when it comes to like physical, maybe in your work relationships, you're used to doing everything under the sun. So when you came with us, we all were like, yo, look, you don't got to do this shit no more.
We all take the brunt of the work.
Like, you do. I know you good at this. Yo, Ra, I know you good at this. Mac, I know you good at this. Let's separate it there so you don't feel like you just have to carry the weight of this whole show.
Can I make a weird drunk analogy?
Please. Please.
I was watching this dude, Hassan Piker, on Twitch last night, who is currently in this mode where he watches a lot of like true crime detective shit. On
documentaries
YouTube.
And all of that stuff?
Like interrogations and stuff. And one of the ones that he was watching yesterday was a guy who, like, the cops found him in like his place with his girlfriend murdered, and he was like all bloodied and beaten up, and they assumed that he had killed his girlfriend, right? So they were watching the interrogation, and his eye is like really fucked up, and he said that he got shot in his eye, but they didn't believe him. And he's all bloodied, and he just keeps talking about how he wants to go to sleep. He doesn't know what they're talking about. He wants to leave. Like, some people came in, shot him and his girl. He doesn't know what they're talking about. He just wants to sleep. They interviewed this nigga for 6 hours. So I don't know what he's talking about. Finally, the cop gets up, looks at him a little bit closer, and realizes he really did get shot, like, in his face. And so they ended up finally giving him like medical attention and finding
out that 6 hours?
After 6 hours of interrogating
welcome
him,
welcome to American police.
I wish I can't remember what department it was, but 6 hours they're interviewing this man, thinking that he's a suspect or whatever, when in actuality he's telling the truth. He was a victim. He got shot in the face, right? Permanent brain damage, lost both of his eyes, and all of these things. But like, Jesus. I don't know why this is my roundabout way of trying to come back to that.
It was the drunk. You had to walk us down the street.
I love it.
It makes me think of like the black experience. I feel like so much of us, like, we walk around with like just gaping bullet wounds, right? And we're just like, I'm tired, bro. Like, I just want to go to sleep. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm exhausted. I got my ass beat. This happened, that happened. I don't know why you keep asking me these questions. Like, I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to sleep. I'm tired. I feel like that's so fucking many of us, old, young, in between, creative, not creative, white collar, blue collar. Like, so many of us are just doing the very best that we can to like exist,
just to exist,
like a plane of stability,
right?
And so it almost feels like you're doing too much, or asking too much, or putting out too much to just like talk about the shit that's fucking you up, however individual it is, grand scale, whatever the fuck it is. It's just like so many of us walk around with these gaping bullet wounds and we feel like we can't say nothing because we just want to go to sleep. Nobody should be attending to this, fixing this, doing whatever, because that's just our experience, and that shit fucking sucks. Like, nah, whatever your platform is, whether it's your dinner table, your coffee table, your podcast, your nigga, your wife, your grandmama, whoever it is, Shady Pines, wherever it is that you can just be like, like I'm getting it out. Get that shit out. Like, get it out. Get it out. If it's a therapist, if it's like a pet, I don't give a fuck what it is. Like, get that shit out. We have to stop walking around with that shit. It's toxic.
That shit is nasty.
Yo, Rod, and I guess I'm gonna ask the whole room. Like, we're gonna get around the whole room. But like, what are some of the chips you feel like you hold on your shoulders? Like, what are some of the things that you kind of like?
Mac is going there.
Carry on your shoulders.
These niggas been turning to real podcasters.
I think for me,
I was coming to tell jokes.
Right.
Welcome to Guys Next Door.
I tried to set the tone for the jokes, and Mac and Ryan, they the podcast. They Steph and Clay right now.
Feel like, so you're saying like what's on my shoulders?
Just what do you feel like are some of the
Want some more?
Just some of the chips that are on your shoulder.
Personally, I feel like people look at me and think a total different thing is happening in my life that's really going on. I had to tell some of my friends recently, I'm like, yo, look, I didn't go off on one of my friends, but it was a place that he said something to me that kind of triggered me, and I made it was a realization
it's serious. It got serious.
It wasn't really serious to me, but it was a realization I thought like, oh,
this is what you think.
I'm supposed to do these things for you, and I'm supposed to get you into the spot, and I'm supposed to get you a drink, and I'm supposed to introduce you to girls. And I'm like, yo, this is not what I'm supposed to do. You feel very entitled. So I had to have that conversation with my friends, and I was like, I don't want you to feel like every time you call me, it's not like a hello, how are you doing, what's up? It's a, yo, what's going on tonight? Yo, I know you know it's this. When you don't invite me anywhere, you always expect me to invite you. So I feel like on the outside looking in, people look at me as just like the giver. What can Ryan do for me? What can Ryan take me? What can he do? And in my mind, I just want somebody to call me and be like, yo, are you good? So that's my biggest hurdle right now is look at people in the eye and be like, are you really here for me or what I could do for you? And then if I'm here for you, what I could do for you, then I got to put a price on it now. And I realize what I can do for you.
Now I realize what this costs.
I realize that. So that's the biggest thing on my back. I mean, learning how to be loved and learning how to love is also big for me because, like I said, my mom wasn't really that emotional like person, but I knew she loved me, and I knew she did everything in her power to raise a black man by herself. So that's another thing, but I think that's the biggest thing is having to look people in their eye and tell them, what the fuck do you need from me? And where is the love coming from? What do I receive from that? I don't need any dollar amount. I don't need that. But where is the love on that side to make me feel that way? Damn. So that's what I can say is the biggest shit on my shoulder right now is making motherfuckers understand like I'm me and I'm gonna be me regardless of if you're in my life or not. Can I help you? Yes. Do I want to help you? Yes. But not if you can't help yourself. And put yourself in a situation where we both can elevate together.
Yeah. I guess I won't be on the clips this week. I guess I won't be on the promo clips this week.
Hope I make it.
No, you said around the room, so it goes that way.
Oh yeah.
It goes that way. Thank you. You tried to set me up. I'm not going after that. Okay. Hold my dick. What? Are you crazy? Are you
studios.
Dumb?
You gotta say studios.
Hold my dick. Studios. Are you dumb?
There we go. Big bro, Fury.
I think one of my biggest constant chips in terms of my shoulders as a queer black man, as much as I love black people, I love the black community, and I love and treasure like my cisgender heterosexual black brothers and sisters. It's frustrating that as much as I fight and care, I will still be considered a hindrance to the advancement of our people just by my visibility as a gay man, like just by being like openly gay and visible and heard. There are so many specifically straight cis black people that see me as a problem and as someone that sort of is a detriment to specifically like the the perception of like the black male and the strength of the black male just by my existence. And it's frustrating because it's like, first of all, my existence or Lil Nas X's videos is not diminishing powerful, strong black men that are doing the right thing out here. And as far as the rest of it, niggas like me and like my queer brothers, sisters, non-binary folk constantly on the front lines of all of the like marches, rallies, vigils, everything you can think of. So it's frustrating, and I feel like it's kind of counterproductive to constantly have to deal with like unnecessary phobias in the movement when we're really, a lot of us are just trying to advance everyone in the same direction.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you before we move on to Mouse real fast. I'll tell you this first.
How does that go? Like what?
Because I'm the one.
How does around
I was the one asking. I was the one asking the questions.
You proposed the question.
I was asking the question.
Yeah.
Before we get to Mouse, I just want to say, listen, big bro. And it feels crazy to take a moment out, but I have to for you. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate everything.
Clap up for Theory.
No. On some real shit. And it's
You're gonna
not
take
even,
this clap.
It's not even just about what you do on your platform. It's not even just about what you the visibility or whatever. You being a strong black man, period, is inspirational to young black men everywhere, and we appreciate you, bro. That's real shit.
One more time for Kid Fury. One more time for Kid Fury.
I want for you niggas to know peace. I want for you to have a fucking playing field. I want you to have an even playing field where you can create, where you can build, where you can have your own shit, regardless of who you sleep with, who you love, what your level of education is, or whatever. Black is power. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's like the nucleus and the thesis of everything that exists.
Talk about it.
He basically just told us.
And you don't have to, want the same thing for me, but damn, can I live? Like
just that part.
Just let me live, nigga. Shit.
He told us he crawled so we could walk. He tried to say
I didn't say all that.
You just said the gates crawled that so that we could walk.
And we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Mouse Jones, talk to me about some of the chips on your shoulders.
Jesus
brother.
Christ, so many.
Give us a couple.
Okay, there's a couple.
We
Okay,
need the whole bag of chips. Just a couple.
You want the whole Ruffles?
This nigga got a whole
We
bag
want
of
the Pringles?
We need the bag they give you now, which is half.
The 25 cent bag was just
75
air.
A little bit. We don't need the back of the day chips. Just give us 2 chips. Shit.
I swear to God, I was ready for them spicy nachos.
No.
And there was 3.
Yes.
3 of them.
It was 3.
And we only asked for 2.
Yeah.
All right, chips. I'm so many. One, I think the most important one, or the one that continues to resurface throughout all my life, is this, scared of abandonment. So I leave first. I'm always ready to. What you said? What? Because I'll get the fuck, and that has led me to some
Mirror.
We're here. So if you don't know, me and Ryan are born the same day,
Literally the same day,
same year.
It's scary.
I was in the morning. He was at night. So typically, a lot of things we speak about, we're mirroring one another. But yeah,
it's
and your
terrible.
signs are what?
Aries.
Fuck. Okay, go ahead.
April Aries.
Fire signs. Yeah.
You were saying good things about us?
I'm a fire sign too.
Hello. But yeah, I think that. So because I'm always ready for somebody to leave, I'll either like push them away intentionally and be like, get the fuck, or I'll remove myself in a very like passive aggressive, more aggressive way, right? And it's
That's
like
true.
when I look up, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I've seen that. I've seen it.
Believe it, yeah.
And it's
Definitely
like,
seen it.
you know what I mean? And it, all right.
It's coming down. I know. I felt it. I felt it.
Yeah, right. You need to take
here.
that back over there.
So we do here.
I don't have those. I'm sorry.
I'm always that kid whose dad left him, right? And no matter, for 6 years, I didn't have a dad. So I know what it's like to be in kindergarten and bring your dad to whatever that was. I didn't have that shit. But, thank God when I turned 7, and from that day on, I've always had a father. But those 6 years really matter. And then it matters that I have to see this nigga be a parent or a faux parent to all these other people. And I'm here with someone who isn't mine. And I fight with this. Oh, God. Ooh.
Drink some water.
Yeah, because that works, right? Drink water and that stops your eyes.
It doesn't really work, but if it helps. It feels like it does.
It helps you. You can relax. Yeah. So I deal with this thing where I feel, I know this nigga exists and I can see him. And he's doing everything for everyone else. And everyone else heralds him as this great person. I'm like, he's a piece of shit. Are y'all blind?
Talking.
And it's like, okay. And I have this man over here that's been hands in the dirt. Whatever bullshit I came with, he's loved and loved me through it, and he's loved my mother through it. And it's like, I can't fully accept this because I'm focused on what I don't have over here. And now I feel like I'm betraying this, right? And it's like, all right, oh shit.
The self-awareness that exists in this moment, I think, is the key factor. It's the most important thing because it's like, people, we are afraid of this. Mm-hmm. We're so afraid of this. And this is like the most crucial, like, tangible, awesome blessing. Like, all of this. But we're so fucking conditioned to be afraid of that and to run away from that because we've had our asses beat for generations after generations. We don't have much of anything left.
We got time to show that shit.
Niggas are just trying to pay their bills on time, keep their credit stable, bro. Like, feed their kids things that's not gonna give them like 4 eyes and extra limbs. Like, shit, niggas are
the
just
simple shit to the others. The shit that's a given. We gotta fight for and really run towards
it. About that on the other episode. Yeah.
I gotta make sure I don't get COVID. But what's in this vaccine? Because niggas can't do. Let's just say it's like every single thing. Woo. Like,
we always gotta ask the extra question.
I just want to say this. I just want to say this. If you have a child out there, love that fucking child, because then you put so much shit on them as a human being, right? Like, I know my daughters probably get tired of me.
So much extra shit.
Because I'm overcompensating for what I didn't have, and I never want them to feel like I felt. Like, there's been times growing up where I'm like, I get what you're saying, Dad, right? That's the man you met, my dad. And it's like, I get what you're saying, Dad, but it's not really clicking
because
the person that should be telling me isn't telling me. And he's probably, perfect example. Everything I went through as a kid, I never had to do. Every tough gangster thing I ever did in this life, never had to do. I was cosplaying. Except I'm the dummy that says, oh, well, if I'm going to do it, you got to really do it. So never did I have to pick up a gun. Never did I have to rob nobody. Never did I have to steal, do no shoot. I never had to do none of that shit. But I put myself in predicaments.
Like, fuck, I'm sorry, that was inappropriate. It was bad timing.
It's great.
I love it, though. I love it.
Bad timing. I never had to do that shit because I grew up in a space where it was right there, but my dad, who was from downtown Brooklyn, put us in a place on Long Island where we kind of could avoid that shit if you really want to. But because he would tell me his war stories, and because everywhere we went, my dad was celebrated. Everywhere we went, oh, V here, oh, man. We had Old Timers Day, oh, V here, oh, you remember you was hiding out the car? All of that. So now I'm hearing that, and he's telling me these stories that are supposed to be cautionary tales. Mm-hmm. Hey, son, don't you want to do that? I'm hearing them, I'm like,
you're thinking of hero tales.
Oh, you want me to be a better gangster.
He did that, so you didn't have to go through that.
Exactly. But because I'm technically somebody else's son, and I come from a different bloodline, I need to hear something a little different. I hear that, I'm like, oh.
That's what
so
I got to do.
You got caught?
Watch me not.
And then I go and I start to try and destroy my life, right? I go and drop out of high school because I have a baby, and I say I got to be the biggest gangster in the world to take care of her. Or I got to go rob niggas. Or I got to do all this dumb shit. Or if a nigga play with me, I gotta show him that I'm Vaughn's son. I ain't this other nigga's son who really pussy and really couldn't stand up and take care of his responsibility. I'm Vaughn's son, and if you played with Vaughn, if Vaughn was gonna boom you, so you play with me, I'm gonna boom you twice. And I'm still not out of that thought process, right? So that's another chip I carry, where I'm always so ready to be so aggressive. Like, I don't know how not to be aggressive.
I mean, Cuba Gooding Jr. knows now. So
I was just going to say that. I mean, I was literally about to make the
So Mouse is done. So Mouse is done.
But I'll say this before you go to Mac. I'll say you don't know when to calm down, but you know what triggers things around the people that you love that you will calm down. I've seen you about to go crazy, and I'd have to come up to you and be like, yo, look, this is not the time, nor the place. Let's think about this. And you can go 0 to 100, but those certain people can know how to bring you there. And in the same space as me, I didn't have a dad. I still don't. Like, this thing is around, but he's not nowhere around. Mm-hmm. So when I hear you say the frustrations of somebody who you wanted to be there, not there, then you got somebody to be there, I think that's why my feelings are so far gone. Because the nigga, I never had to even through a placement pops. You know what I mean? It's not even a comparison, but it's like, you now have those feelings. I guarantee if you didn't have stuff, there would be no tears or nothing. I don't think you would have any emotion, because I feel like that man who stepped in your life and became the greatest person to you gave you a reason to have emotions. I feel like you were emotionless when your father left, and I feel like if a man never came back, you would not have emotions. Kind of geared toward the way I don't.
I agree.
Niggas don't see me cry and shit like that, and it's just because I never saw it. Like, I never had somebody step in and be like, yo, it's okay to do this. Until I got here. Realistically, like, until I got next to my niggas who shared. We've had episodes where y'all both were balling, and I'm just like this.
He's like,
We weren't I wasn't balling. It was just a little couple tears.
All right, whatever you want to over Zoom. Over Zoom,
you were balling.
Over Zoom, it looks a little different.
Yeah, well, it's the front facing camera.
All right, so this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
all right.
I didn't. Y'all looked at me and I said powerful shit. And y'all said powerful shit, and tears are rolling down. And I'm looking at the computer like trying to look at the ceiling fan, so my eyes can water up a little bit. And I'm like, fuck, what the hell is wrong with me? But hearing you say that, it's like I just didn't get that. And now, like you said, when you have kids and you're like in their face and they're like, Dad, like I can see your daughter like, Dad, why are you always like that? And it's like, because you don't know what I don't ever want you to feel in a way that I felt. And that's why I respect you. She is literally 2,000.
She is literally Uncle Rise.
Yeah,
I'm about to say, listen, there's two things I want to say. First and foremost, it's a question. The first one is a question. Do you think that it is because of, not because of us, but because of the people that you care about, or that you even having children, or just something that now is a little more tangible to you than dad or anything like that, that you found that button to calm down?
I think I found that button to calm down, not because and I think this is a very dangerous part of me, but I really don't care about none of this shit. I know I've amassed a lot and all that, but if I ever have to bargain that against what I deem, to me in that very moment, to be like, oh, nigga playing with my gangster, or
no, of course,
testing me as a man, I will throw all of this shit away just to let a nigga know, don't ever play with me again. And I know that's very dangerous. I get it. That's why I stay in the house.
It's very similar.
I think the thing that I think about most is the people I represent. Right? I know I'm standing next to somebody who is on Broadway and has the.
Oh, well, thank you.
You exist in this space that
Thoughts of a Colored Man
standing next to me could really tank. And it's like, okay, Mac,
hold your mic like this, Mac.
Right.
Please.
You gotta pick you up. Thoughts of a Colored Man, October. Make sure you get your tickets. Telechart.com.
So when I think about that, I'm like, if I wild out over this shit, right? Mac looks crazy.
Oh, I've told
Ryan,
you. You ain't even gotta tell me.
We've been in scenarios where Ryan had to tell me, bro, you my nigga, I'm never not gonna stand next to you.
But you gonna fuck up my bag up, yeah.
And I don't know if you remember saying, he said to me, he was like, I'm gonna ride with you.
Always.
But he said, tell me if you gonna ride with me and fuck my business up. And I was like, all right, bring the nigga here, let's talk.
Yep.
And now me and that nigga cool. The nigga like, we're cool now. And it's like,
are y'all? Y'all are super cool. I'm like, God damn.
But once again, this is not. A lot of these scenarios are just a lot of these scenarios happen because people think they know me and they have this perception of me. So they're like, what? Oh, that nigga, And I'm like, bro, I don't, literally what I said, bro, I don't know this nigga, but he has this energy for me. Let's talk about it. And now I'm like, oh, that nigga mad cool. Yeah, whatever, cool. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when it comes to like, I hate using this word, like the advocacy work, it's like, if I'm out here and I'm busting niggas upside their head for every infraction and everything that pisses me off, how do I look when I stand tall and fight for these people who I tell people all the time I'm willing to die for? I tell people all the time when asked about this advocacy work, I'm ready to give my life for black LGBTQ plus people. I'm ready to give my life for black women. How do I look willing to give my freedom up because the nigga said he don't like my opinion?
I don't think that the core majority of black women or LGBTQ people would want for you to give your life for reasons that may not be necessary.
Right.
Or deemed minuscule in the grander scheme of things.
I know that, I'm 5'8", I speak like Moesha, but I also will beat your ass. Like, and it's, I don't care.
Was that the song?
He's doing the diary music
podcast. I don't give a fuck where you. I don't care about anything. I will bust your shit if the circumstances are correct.
That's Miami.
It just is where I'm from the 305,
which is the area code of
day that I died,
in Florida,
Dade
Miami.
County.
Dade County,
which is located in Florida. No?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So if I were to look at a map and I see Florida, would Miami pop up?
It would be like underneath, like it's kind of like its own little.
So if I'm looking at a map
and you looked at the United States, Miami would pop up
inside of Florida, inside of the place that is regarded as Florida.
It would pop up on the southern part of the country,
which is
and I feel like Florida. You're really trying me. At this it's kind of getting excessive.
We were at a good place just now. Jeez.
As I was trying to say before I was very disrespectfully interrupted. We as a people.
I love it. I love it.
When somebody says we as a people,
oh man.
When a nigga circles back and says we as a people,
we need to do better. We need to do better.
Listen, Fury. We appreciate you.
No. Fuck that.
Okay.
How are we gonna skip this nigga's shit on his show?
Nigga.
You see. I was like, oh, we skipping me?
No, we're not lit. Mac Wiles, what are the chips on your?
Give us one, cause
brawly yellow shoulders.
Oh man.
Broad
yellow shoulders.
Broadway.
Broadway, right? Thoughts of a Color Man out in October. Make sure you get your tickets.
So definitely Thoughts of a Color Man is a chip on the shoulder.
No.
Relationships is kind of like my straws,
Eco straws.
If you didn't know, they don't bend, they don't break.
So what? Hip hop questions, legends, and listen. That's what we're talking about.
That's what I thought. All of these things paying this rent. Damn.
It's almost like if you had to read someone for
because that's
a lot of the great things these black men are doing here today.
So right.
What's crazy? One of the there's just like Mouse. I have a bunch of chips on my shoulder. A lot of things that the reason why I act the way that I act, that I try to stay as calm as I do. When I was young, I was a wild nigga. When I was young. Just trying to be up under my brother.
I remember Michael well.
Yo.
Not a lot of it was acting, I'm just saying. Yeah. But just trying to be up under Tahir. Shout out to Nevi.
Popping.
Trying to be just because everybody, even at a young age, was very much like, yo, you're little Nev. And I had to uphold to that, I had to stand up in that. I had to be that. So the chip that's on my shoulder the most comes from a very young age, and it's ebbed its way all the way through to my career now, which is expectation. I think everybody expects something from me. Everybody expects whether it's something I can provide for them, whether it's something.
I'll tell you what I expect from you.
Whether it's
I expect my birthday post this year to be split the fuck up. I don't want to be. I don't want a happy birthday.
Double expectation.
I don't want a happy birthday Mouse and Ryan together ever again.
That shit is gonna fucking.
Shit has been a couple years in a row. We're gonna cut this shit out.
3 years in a row. Even the first year he did it, me and Ryan didn't even know each other like that. You were like, "Yo, two brothers, I love them."
Because Mac, if y'all don't know, Mac's birthday post be like, it's somebody's birthday and it's not mine. Then he does a whole synopsis of a nigga's life.
It'd be fire though, right?
And the day that you do us, we get the same joy.
Feels like a very Aries thing to do, to interrupt him to talk about yourselves as he was trying to.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, big brother.
Actually, he said something and that just caught me off guard.
He said something that triggered.
It triggered us.
It triggered me.
You see?
It's very Aries.
And our trauma response was to respond.
April?
Yeah, April.
The 15th.
April 15th, tax day. It's terrible.
Yeah, and we taxing your ass. Therefore, please
separate
our birthday posts.
All right. I will make sure that it's separated.
Mine goes first because I was born first.
Back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
That's definitely how the post is going to go this year. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Ryan and Mouse's birthday.
No! Why did you say back to you?
Back to you in the studio.
I can't deal with it.
I'll let you know.
I fucking can't deal. No, but on the real, expectation, man. I've dealt with it a lot within my life. Just kind of, like I said, growing up, trying to be up under Tahir, trying to be Nev. You know, watching him and all of his friends and everything that they were doing. I wanted to bang as hard as them. I wanted to make sure that I was banging harder than them. Like I wanted to make sure, especially being like, I was super young when I started banging. I was fucking 10 years old trying to do the same shit that they was doing. So other 10, 11-year-olds were looking at me like, damn, you doing all of that? Like, you toting a 22 and you do like that was my life. I was really, really trying to do everything that they were doing. Then we started getting to acting. And everybody who was popping at the time, they're like, oh, you're good, but you're not him. We need you to be more like him. Or we need you to do this. Or we need you to do that. And expectation was like a constant thing in my life. And I somehow tried to use it as fuel. But I think as I've gotten older, man, as Fury said, man, I'm just tired, bro. I'm tired of trying to compare myself to niggas. I'm tired of trying to be like niggas that they're comparing me to wherever they are in their career. And it's like, listen, my nigga, more power to you, but I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, it is what it is, bro. I'm happy. I'm trying, and I try to stay happy, but there are days that I even get caught up in the expectations.
Yes.
There's days that I really get down on myself. I get fucked up just because I start thinking about, well, maybe I can be doing this more like this person, or maybe I could, do this and it'll get my followers up, or maybe I could do this and this person will get me a job and my whole life will change. And expectations, man, that's one of the biggest chips on my shoulder.
Yeah, you've been rich for a long time, so I get it. Niggas always expected $1 from you. I get it,
trust him. Shit, here we go, expecting 2 separate birthday posts. God forbid.
I didn't go back down that street, but
just saying, I am going to have that expectation.
But I love you,
my own birthday.
I love you, my brother. Don't let everybody tell you different.
It is a curse. I tell you, that word expectation to me in my life has been a curse. That's why in everything I try to just live in the moment. I don't want to expect shit. I just want to live.
Have you ever looked at it as you're putting a lot on yourself, and then maybe it's not as much people having this expectation of you, it's you having this expectation of yourself based on your perceptions of people's perception of you?
Yes and no. It would be different if it wasn't as verbal as it was.
Okay.
It would be different if I didn't hear it from people. It would be different if our conversations, within, whether it's team conversations, trying to figure out how we can move better or what we can do better, and it'd be this post, this song, this movie, this person doing this with they girl and blah 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 blah, and it's like, you need to do this and it needs to be like this, it needs to be more aspirational.
Oh, no, you ain't got to worry about that. You making it hard on a lot of us, nigga. I really wish you would stop posting about how happy you are married with this woman. I'm sick of it.
I had to get to a place for that, man. On a real, growing up, even just trying to get into acting and all of that stuff. Very early on, I was like, bro, I don't want to show any of that stuff because there's an expectation that comes with it. Once you do it once, it's like, oh, I expect that. And I tried to always shy away from expectation, literally, until as of late. It's more so now the reason why I do it is because I want to. Whenever somebody tries to put an expectation on me, I'm like, nah, what do you want me to do? Like don't tell me this is what you expect me to do. That shit is out the window. Like, what would you want me to do? And if I want to do it, I'll meet you somewhere in the middle, or we'll figure it out. But all that expectation shit, that shit is, it becomes a hindrance to your creation. It becomes a hindrance to who you are as a person. It becomes a hindrance to your mental health. Bruh, I've had too many dark days trying to base my life on what other niggas were saying. And I am at the point now where I'm like, fuck everything else, bro. Like, if it doesn't involve my family, you bring it my way. And of course, again, you know, when you go through depression is not a I tell everybody, depression isn't a curable disease. It's not something that you just get over and it's done. The shit kind of just sits back and then it'll hop up at the craziest times. Yeah. So of course there are times when I get back down, and there are times when I'm back in my shell and I'm on some like, man, I don't want to fuck with nobody, man. Like, I'm good. I'm cooling. I got to figure my own shit out, trying to figure out my depression or whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, bro, if it doesn't have anything to do with my family, the people that I love, the people that I'm around, fuck all of that other shit, for real.
Yeah.
I seen you were having some like visceral reactions to like him saying that when he started talking about expectations. Are you? I'm just
thinking, right? Like, life on Earth is inherently chaotic. It's random. You don't know when you're going to get here, where you're going to be, who your people are going to be, what the circumstances are. Not a single minute or hour is promised to you. Anything you could get engulfed by a volcano. Anything could happen at any fucking time. And like every single thing that we like hold dear in terms of our trajectory, whether it's your like occupation or your dream car or girl or guy or whatever, all of those things shift and change. All of it does. Like, complete mediums of work. Podcasting will die at some point. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody will be on to whatever the next, you know, form of this medium is or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And like, on one season, it's like everybody is on the Dior print, which I think is hideous, by the way. And then like the next season is something else. So like nothing, all of this shit is just conditional. It's random. It's chaotic. Whatever the fuck you feel is like you, and it's honest and it's legal. It's like safe or whatever. Express that. And just see what comes of it. Like, I just feel, and the thing is, again, to bring it back to us specifically as Black, brown people, we have a harder time of living in that. Like,
having
white
that
people
space to live in
have way more space, time, opportunity to do backflips and whatever the fuck random shit they be thinking about, and fall on their ass and still have a trust fund to pick their ass back up. Or even if they don't, they still have their white ass skin to go down to Walmart and not be shot, or you know, whatever. So it's like, we have to bear the brunt of like, I just want to exist. And if my existence is working the stockroom at Macy's and I don't have to die, I can live to, you know, a full life, then whatever. It's like, no, fuck that. Like, do you, whatever the fuck you is, however it is. And as like my family, specifically my dad, said all of the time, if you can have yours, if you can have something that is yours, whether it's a platform, a village, a family, or whatever, it's something that is yours, why would you not do that?
That's a fact.
Go and make your shit. Like, create your shit, whatever the fuck it is. For me, it's just making niggas laugh and eating carbs and playing PlayStation. Telling dick jokes. Lying to niggas.
Lying to niggas. What's the most creative lie you ever told a nigga?
End on a good note. I like that.
You like that, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Sounds like I've been podcasting.
Yeah,
I really don't like.
Oh my God!
Right.
Oh my
Jesus
God!
Christ.
I don't like. I'm very honest.
We just had this great emotional moment with
a
each
lion
other.
nigga lying to niggas.
A lion
crazy.
nigga lying to little niggas. That's crazy.
That's his creative.
What are you,
That's his
Leo?
most creative
You a
line.
Leo?
He just lied to us.
You Leo? You a lion?
I'm a Sag, so I'm a big liar.
Y'all Sagittarius too? Both of y'all.
All right. Wow.
So all three of y'all liars.
Duh.
There go the lie.
There it goes.
Lie, we've never lied.
There it goes.
Never lied about anything ever.
What?
We are like brutally honest.
Yeah, that's
More than
typically
us?
what liars say. I'm like so
Hell no.
honest. It's like a bad trait of
You
mine.
know that
I'm
I'm
so honest.
very brutally honest.
Yeah, but about what
I feel
you're
like
honest
most
about.
Of my lies are lies that are like beneficial to the person.
They're like fibs. They're like
Yeah,
you don't want to
it's
hurt
not
them.
like I'm
Fucking
lying
save it,
to you.
Jody.
I'm
Fucking
being
save
serious.
it.
Like,
I lie to
what are
you.
we gonna do to
I tell them other niggas the truth because I don't care about their
There's tons
feelings.
of fish in the sea, bitch, so I don't give a fuck if you leave me, so I don't gotta lie to you over that. You're not paying my rent, so I don't gotta lie to you for no motherfucking money. You're not putting me in no motherfucking drip, no clothes, bitch, so I ain't gotta lie to you. What the fuck I gotta lie to you about for any motherfucking thing?
Yo,
if
yeah.
anything,
Yeah,
I'm
when you cut
lying
this
to you
clip
and
up,
I'm
I want
telling
you to
you,
put the Trina
guess
song
what?
behind it.
I don't mind that you
Look back
sleep
at it.
over. I don't mind that you stay the night. That's a lie. Yes, it is good for me too. I also enjoyed the sex.
I wanted you out
Sex
though.
was great. The sex was great. That was a fucking lie. Yes, I will see you when I
Figure,
get
may
to
I
the
ask you
fucking
a-
function
hold
tonight.
on.
That's a
I want to
lie.
ask you a question about what you just said. Two things
man.
back. You said, yes, I enjoyed it too. That lie, right? Brings us back to this conversation we had on the podcast during the pandemic episodes.
Oh, my
right?
God.
Where I was looked at crazy because I said, I don't understand how gay niggas is out here not pleasing other niggas. Like, you have the thing. You know how you
know how
want
it
to
works.
feel. How would you not please another nigga? And I was looked at crazy because I was like, oh, if I was gay, millions. You know why? Because who's gonna outdo me?
We did.
So please,
what
tell-
Mouse Jones said is that if he was gay,
Yes.
this mouth would make millions.
Do you have the ability to please every woman the same way to the same degree? Like
Watch
you
your
have
mouth,
the
Mouse.
same. You can get every girl to the
the fire.
same place with the same.
Hold your feet to the fire.
Or is every girl a different?
Everybody's a different
Exactly.
roller coaster, but I'm gonna ride it.
I'm about to say, hey, listen.
So what the fuck are you asking me?
Come
Like,
on, ride that
Listen,
train.
too short to get on.
Yeah, ride it.
niggas are different.
No, but
Every
I'm saying
nigga
like
is
when you
different.
look at a nigga who did not please you, are you like are you that more disgusted? You're like nigga, you know better.
It depends, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there are the
That's what I'm
niggas that
saying.
it's just like, okay, that happened, you may leave. And then there are the ones where,
mercy. You
like,
wanna teach 'em?
I care, I guess, and so I probably will lie to you and say you can stay, or that, like, oh yeah, it was so good, even though it wasn't. So most of the time, if I'm lying, it's to spare your motherfucking black ass goddamn feelings, not because I'm in trouble, bitch. I ain't afraid of you.
Yeah, I promise you, EA, you will be fired if when he went on that rant, there's not that Trina song going behind because he wilded
Not
niggas
the
up for
baddest
no
bitch.
reason.
I'm scared of you, bitch.
Jesus
Okay, on that
Christ.
note, what we learned on this episode is Kid Fury is not scared of you, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
All right, before we get out of here, you know we got to do what we came to do. All right, so we have the Music Breaker Guys Next Door Get the Draws playlist.
Indeed.
As y'all know, there's the Get the Draws playlist. We have decided to put that on pause for a minute and show our fellow black businessmen some love. Shout out to the men of Music Breaker. So we opened up the Music Breaker. Make sure y'all, if you are an artist, make sure you sign up for Music Breaker at musicbreaker.com, BREAKR. And then you can submit the next time
We had a lot of submissions.
We had a lot of submissions.
1,500.
Just maybe a little more than that, but yeah.
I mean, that was then. I'm talking about now.
I want them to stop because it's over. Like
It's not over.
the day, the
just
time
means-
said
it
it's
just
over.
It's just the beginning.
It said August 31st. It's past the 31st, and they're still
It's
sitting
just the
there.
beginning.
Anywho, so today what we're putting on the GND GTD playlist.
Hold on, before we get to that, we gotta ask you, big bro, what is a song, any song that you would put on the Get the Draws playlist?
A truthful one at that.
On the Get the Draws playlist. As in, this is
What
like
get you up out them Hanes, bro?
Yo, Jesus Christ.
The Calvin Klein.
Scoot.
He said,
relax.
The scoot.
Relax.
What get you
Make sure you do the scoot.
You
do the
what in theory? That's what you be doing? Wait, time out.
Yo. Mouse.
Tells you everything.
Mouse,
Come on, stop.
So like they start tugging and you like this, you like,
that was a
oh my
little
God,
too.
man.
That was a little too accurate.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this.
That was a little too accurate.
He said that was a little too accurate.
Yeah.
Wait, do it one more time, right? What are you doing?
No.
I cannot believe.
Fucking no.
I cannot believe niggas got
No, you know I'm not like. I don't even like that.
I'm just trying to play PS5.
Oh, this is why I wore my jeans.
Look, he's trying to play the game. He be playing the game. He be like, oh my God, I'm trying to play. Oh my God.
You see, I got on jeans.
Yo.
Kid Fury over here talking about.
Oh my
look, Kid Fury
God.
talking about. He's talking about this right. He said, "What? Leave the boots on."
Shut the fuck.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm so mad. Leave the boots
on. Heard.
Leave the boots on.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have this.
But what is one
specific
song that's just in your mind? Like when going up the steps, I know you probably got steps in your crib. I know it's probably very.
I don't.
I was about to say, if you got steps in your crib, you are getting too much money.
No.
So in your large Fournier.
Come on, Fournier. Come on, Fournier.
I'm just saying. I know you got it.
It's fine.
No. We going Fournier in this house.
Yeah,
This house of
that's
God.
fine.
I'm with you.
Sky Daddy looking down at us.
Hey.
We doing Fournier.
Yeah,
I ain't never
like
been
that.
in a studio that got clouds on the ceiling.
God,
Respect
Daddy.
us.
Come on.
But yeah, what's that song that you
I'm trying to avoid a Summer Walker song right now.
Hey, we love a Summer Walker song.
Because literally, probably insert Summer Walker song. Probably that'll be it. Maybe Moment, Victoria Monet's. I like a lot of Victoria Monet.
Victoria Monet. Okay.
Subtle.
Nice little subtle record right there.
I like
It's
that.
subtle.
Subtle record right there.
Is it subtle?
Well, we will be placing on the GTD GND playlist a record from this week's I guess Breaker
Artist of the Week.
Artist of the Week. Well, he spelled it I enjoy it because it's spelled very much in the way of, like, you remember music used to put all the words together in lowercase.
Yep.
So this record is called I Don't Wanna by Clarence. Clarence is spelled with a 3, so that's when I stopped liking him.
Wow.
But yes, I Don't Wanna by Clarence. That is going on the G&D Breaker playlist this week. Guys, if y'all want to be up for this playlist, make sure you have a Music Breaker account. And when we put up the campaign, not before then, don't DM me.
Please don't.
Don't DM him.
Don't.
Don't DM him.
It won't get answered.
Don't
Listen.
DM me either. I can't.
Don't DM him either.
Yeah.
Listen to the words I'm telling you. Get you a Breaker account.
Yep.
And when the campaign goes live, that's when you send the submissions. Anything else, you're wasting your time.
Pretty much.
On that note, Kid Fury, please tell the people if you have anything coming up that you want them to support, how they can support it.
Literally nothing.
Except for on Tuesdays.
Yeah, on Tuesdays there's a podcast called The Read. It's elderly.
It's what?
Elderly.
It's elderly.
elderly?
No.
Yeah.
It's seasoned.
Seasoned is nice.
Seasoned.
That's
They said
pretty
vintage.
good.
Jesus Christ, I think
It's
vintage is worse than
vintage.
elderly.
Vintage is crazy.
Wow.
It's like that comes in a saran wrap.
It's mummy.
But you can listen to that wherever podcasts are, I suppose, and so many secrets, so many upcoming secrets.
We don't get one on the
I'm
guy
about to
next
say,
door.
listen,
We don't get one.
I'm on deadline all the time, and
Can we
I
be a-
see
can we be a
some
part-
of the
can we be a
secrets.
part
Oh
of one of the
my
things?
God! You talk about a deadline.
I'm talking about dropping, sis. Woo! Hey.
You don't want to talk about none of the deadline announcements.
We where the Read podcast is working with Issa Rae's
Yes.
The Radio.
Clap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Clap it up.
That's all I wanted to hear.
The radio label, working on a comedy album that itself has some fun surprises that may expand past comedy.
And I can't wait.
I'm here. My phone's always available. You know,
There
Can't
you go.
might not be on ring, but
Hey,
I'll get back.
I'll get back to you.
I get it.
Rye. So come on, sell these straws, baby. Sell these straws, baby.
In case y'all didn't know, I'm a black businessman. Hold on, wait 1 second.
Take a sip. Take a sip.
Yo, Kid Fury was in the middle of like the most serious thing he was talking about, and I just look over and Ryan is sipping with the straw out of the water.
So if y'all don't know, I own my own straw. It's called Eco Agave. It's biodegradable, eco-friendly. Doesn't break down like paper. Better for the environment than plastic.
Clap it up for black business owners.
I like that.
Caring about the environment.
I'll be everywhere. McDonald's and Starbucks, and at that point in time, you probably won't hear us ever again. But until then,
we'll be using our straws.
Please order my straws on my page. I still have my yacht company. It's still up and thriving in Tulum.
Only black-owned yacht company in Tulum.
In the world. How about
in the world.
Let's talk about that.
Come on, man. Get you on a yacht.
Yeah, it's other things working and very much about to happen, but I'll just let that pan out.
You'll see on the Instagram.
Mac with the dials.
Man, you know I'm not doing much, man. I'm out here just living. I'm actually working on this this Broadway play. It's called Thoughts of a Colored Man.
When you say Broadway, you mean like in Harlem?
No, not in Harlem.
Apollo?
Broadway on
like
45th.
Like when you say Broadway, you mean like with
Albany? Don't they have a Broadway in Albany?
No.
Like when you say Broadway, you mean like where Jim Jones and them be at and they don't play?
No. I'm
Get your head clapped broad day.
No. I think that's Broad Street. Huh?
Like Morningside Heights.
Harlem. No, sir.
What Broadway is this?
We're Broadway. It's in Hell's Kitchen. If you guys know that area.
When you say Hell's Kitchen, you mean like
Flatbush?
No.
Like Flatbush?
That's Hell's Kitchen. It's Flatbush.
That is a different Hell's Kitchen.
That is Glorious Kitchen. That is Miss Janice's kitchen in Flatbush.
Depending on what kitchen, you might not come out. But
you might not come out of there.
Peppers.
Good kitchen.
Right? It's a good kitchen too.
That's a great kitchen.
No, yeah, I'm doing this little Broadway thing. This very big Broadway thing.
There we go. Talk your shit, black man.
It's called Thoughts of a Colored Man. It's coming out October 1st. That's when we start previews. Opening night is October 31st. First time Broadway has seen an all black cast, black producer, black playwright, black director,
black scalper.
It's really?
Sorry.
You gonna take money out of our?
You already got the money, bitch.
First of all, those tickets don't work.
They don't work.
You're already sold out. Whose money am I taking?
You're right.
Guys, everybody, next door is keeping this money in house.
Make your money, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really excited about it, man. I keep on talking about it. I keep on trying to wax poetic about it, but there's never been anything like this on Broadway, man. Like that speaks to us. All walks of life that black men come in, and it doesn't lean on one side. It's not like it's just about a specific type of black man. If you're a black man, I promise you'll see yourself in this play.
God, your media trained.
Somewhere.
Yo, you weren't here the other night when he sold this shit, and niggas looked and said, "Can we go now?"
No, it's right real. Now. It's like, yo, so it's crazy. I left when I left after doing the podcast. I went home. I finally got the full script.
Okay,
got a chance to read it through again, and reading it through and seeing what we're talking about, all of the things that we're talking about, the different types of black men that are spoken about in this play. Mind you, it's 7 different black men in this play. Each black man is personified by something that they say black men have. You have happiness, you have passion, you have anger, you have You have happiness, passion, anger, love, lust, wisdom, and depression.
I've dated like 4 of them.
Okay, so
and you were the other 3.
Hold on. Wait.
Listen. We're gonna keep going.
You caught it, right, Rod?
I just want to know if they're on the show.
And with all of these black men, each one has their own story. The story is one day, like it takes place one day in a gentrifying Bed-Stuy, and just what that world is for us as black men, losing our community, and all of the things that we got to go through. Man, it's one of the illest plays I've read in a long time, and so much so I'm surprised that they let it go on Broadway, bro. Like, I haven't seen no shit like this since like Top Dog, Underdog, and I don't even think that was Broadway. I think that was off Broadway.
Oh, it was up there by Caroline's.
That's, man, I'm telling you guys, man, this is something for the ages. This is something for everybody, no matter what walk of life, what you go through as a black man, even black women, white people, whatever. If you ever wanted to know what black men think about,
sorry, I'm sorry.
If you ever wanted to kind of just get a glimpse in the mindset of black men everywhere, you need to watch this play
and listen to this podcast. Absolutely,
definitely listen to this podcast.
October 1st.
Yes, October
1st.
Mouse, so you don't get
telecharge.com.
So you're not upset. You won't be at opening night. That's not our night.
I'm going. I told him he needs to get me in touch with PR. There's no way my niggas going on Broadway
Only
the first
PR
night.
that will be reported as a police report. If you show up to that opening night with no ticket, I'm just letting you know how Broadway, not uptown, I want them Hell's Kitchen.
I want to let niggas know right now.
Big police reports.
I've never been more proud than I was in that moment. He turned that gun on me real fast. Nigga turned the funny gun on me real fast. That was witty and funny and all that. Quick.
Mouse Jones, tell the people.
What do I got going on? Trap Karaoke, trapkaraoke.com. We are back on the road. By the time you hear this, well, no, it doesn't really matter because
by the time
Atlanta and DC are already sold out, completely sold out. There's no more last minute tickets. Leave me alone.
Can I come?
Yes, you can come, but
got +1.
I don't know what.
Do I have a +1?
You have a +20 because you're my nigga. Don't really put that to the test. Just
please don't.
You saw my list for the night.
No, it's true, but I just don't want to have that. I don't want the headache.
You saw my list for the night.
When I shows up with a +20, I'm gonna be like, yeah, he's coming in, or the show doesn't happen.
What's my list for the night?
But now my boss is gonna be like, this is your doing.
Yeah,
like my nigga.
See how they treat me in other places.
COVID. And that's my go-to. But yes, Atlanta and DC already sold out, completely sold out. So sorry for you. If you don't know me, or if you do know me, leave me alone all the same.
Yep.
But what I'm most excited about is August 20th and 21st.
Talk about it.
Back home, New York City. Yeah. Don't want to say where.
We're not gonna say where yet.
But just know we're there.
And we shutting it down.
August 20th, August 21st. New York, Trap Karaoke. I'm back home. This is the only way to do this. It's the only way to do this. So that's the only way this tour can keep going on. We are hitting LA, Vegas, and all these other cities. So trapkaraoke.com. Go get your tickets, whatever is left. We are 100% sold out of all
general admission.
No,
early
admission tickets.
Early bird, yeah.
We are 85% sold out of
Cut the check.
general admission. So y'all really got to figure it the fuck out. Each and every Monday, after you listen to Guys Next Door, make sure you listen to the What? Hip Hop Questions, Legends, and Lists, the hip hop podcast on the Black Effect Network, starring myself and Nyla Simone. I'm not sure what week we're talking about this week. I'm not sure. Not really sure, but we're talking about it. It has to do with hip hop. Yep. So make sure you listen to that. You get to hear new, young voices in the hip hop generation talk about age-old questions and also post some new ones. So make sure you listen to that. The What? Hip Hop Question, Legends, and Lists. And nothing to me is more important than what you should listen to every Monday first before you listen to anything. The Guys Next Door podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can hear this, which if you already listened to this, you know where to find us. But if you're not subscribed and you're just weird, like you just type in our name every Monday and don't subscribe, you're weird. So stop being weird. Hit the subscribe button. Yeah. Follow us on all social media platforms, Guys Next Door Pod. If you want to continue the conversation on Twitter, make sure you use the hashtag Guys Next Door. If you have a question about your raggedy, funky ass relationship, or you just want to show us some love, or send us a weird story like y'all like to do, Guys Next Door 123@gmail.com. If you are ugly.
Oh my God.
All right, we're gonna holla at y'all next week. Appreciate y'all, because he's about to go left, and I need him to stay right.
Always.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week.
See y'all black ass next week.